Hello and welcome, football fans, inside Starlight Stadium for today's Week 6 BCFC action between the Vancouver Island Raiders and the Westshore Rebels. Alongside BC Football Hall of Famer Paul Short, I'm Tyler Bennett. Thank you for joining us. And Paul, the Westshore Rebels got back on track last week after that loss to Okanagan. What did you see from them that are signs of improvement through Week 5?
Well, I think the difference between the Sun game and the Valley game was they played 4 quarters. Against the Sun, they didn't let up, but the Sun are a good football team, and so you can't let up. But I think they recognized that when they went into Chilliwack and said, we're playing 4 quarters, and it showed. They beat them up pretty good.
And the VI Raiders winless so far through the season, but showing signs of life this year. And the story coming from Nanaimo is Sadler Smith, their starting quarterback. What can you tell us about number 12 and what we can expect today from him?
Other than the stats, he's the top passer in the CGFL, and he's ripping it up. And to be honest with you, I'm excited to see him because he is a phenomenon, apparently.
Yeah. And lastly, we talk about the battle for the rock. I mean, this Island rivalry, it's swayed in years now, but how important is this rivalry to be competitive for Island football?
Oh, it's hugely important. I really feel that these two teams hold the key to the growth on the island. And I'd like to see them play for a game. Chilliwack and Langley have a game. The Cascadia Cup, Prince George and Kamloops have a game that they put a trophy to. So I'm going to do whatever I can to say, let's put something together. We're going to have an award at the end of this. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I'd love to call it the Roger Wade Trophy.
That would be very well said, Paul. It's the Rebels, the Raiders, battle for the rock, and it's coming up next. And the coin toss has been decided. We are about to get underway here at Starlight Stadium in a cool and crisp day here as we've pretty much skipped August and September. We are into October football in Week 6 here, Paul, and we're about to get ready to go here.
Oh, yeah, it's a little chilly and it's pretty windy, so the wind's going to definitely, as you're looking at the screen, is going to help whoever's working at this point from right to left, but yeah, it's I agree, it's October. It's the beginning of October.
It appears the Rebels have won the coin toss and will receive this kickoff. The long, storied history between these two teams, well documented. Two teams that don't like each other no matter what year they're playing or what time of day. As VI Raiders in their road whites with the red and black trim are going to be going from right to left. The home Westshore Rebels in all red, going from left to right. A good traveling crowd here by the Raiders means a full Starlight Stadium here. Should be a good atmosphere, should be a good football game. Getting the final checks, here comes the kickoff, and the battle for the rock is underway as Aiden Bowles will receive this kickoff and go off to the right. He's looking for some extra blocks, and he is tackled around the 35-yard line as the Rebels will have good field position to open in this football game.
Yeah, it was a good return. It was he made the right move, but at the end of the day, he cut right back into number 12 on the Raiders. Sadler Smith, the quarterback. I think, was he out there? No, he couldn't have been. It must have been my eyes. I apologize. So a good starting point, though.
So the Rebels offense onto the field. Ethan Picard and company coming off a 42-point performance in Valley last week. He will be under center for this first snap, and it will be a handoff to Ryan Vincent going through the left side, and he is going to be tackled after a short gain of about 4, and that will bring up 2nd and 6. And Paul, what did you see from this Rebels offense? Because the last time we saw them here in Okanagan, they were stifled in the fourth quarter.
Well, I thought they got away from their game plan, and Ethan's a great quarterback. He throws the ball well, but with Ryan Vincent and Carter Williams in the backfield, they're two dynamic football players, one strong, one that's got the speed. And I thought they got away from that and relied on Ethan's arm too much.
So on that throw for Kwame Franklin, incomplete, as Ethan Picard was under center for those first 2 snaps, and looks like it's going to be a quick 2 and out here for the Rebels on their first drive of the game.
Well, that was important for the Raiders just to sort of settle themselves. Last time they were in town was last year, and they got beat up 95-14 here by the Rebels. And so that first drive is so important just to settle the nerves a little bit. And if they get a good return on this, then we'll get a good look at Sadler Smith for sure.
Oh, could be an extra sneak play here as Faranmiok and Lola under center as the quarterback here. Regularly a defensive back. They might have to take a penalty here as they look a little out of sorts. And they are going to indeed take a delay of game penalty by the looks of it. Charlie Wiersma going to go in motion here. Do the Rebels have something up their sleeves, or are they buying time? And indeed, they are buying time.
That's kind of weird. First series, and you're going to try to draw them offside. You still would have been in a third down and punting situation, and now you have to punt the football. Yeah, that was a little different. I don't think I've ever seen that before in the very first punt of the game. Only, third play in.
The Rebels maybe trying to catch the Raiders off guard here, but the Raiders not biting. That's going to back them up 5 yards, and the Rebels going to kick this ball away again, as this time it's a regular routine snap, and Charlie Wiersma a high kick but not a far kick, as this is just over the pass, and this one is going to be a no yards by the looks of it. The Rebels do come up with it, but correct me if I'm wrong here, but the Raiders still going to get this football back.
Yeah, they will, and it'll be a 15-yard penalty in favor of the Raiders because of the no yards. Yeah, the ball was held up by the wind, so your cover team was doing what they're supposed to do, but unfortunately, the ball dropped right down amongst them.
There you see on the replay, tough grabbing. The wind is swirling here. It's going to be all game long is going to be a talking point, and that ball just too hot to handle, but luckily the Raiders going to keep the football.
Well, they're going to have a good starting point, the Raiders here, and it'd be important for their team right now. They've got a 1-3 record. And not struggling. They won the game in Kamloops, just lost in Prince George. They were 2 home games against Langley and Okanagan where they were leading into the fourth quarter. So they've turned a corner, in my opinion, and a touchdown here in the first drive would be real important to them, just for confidence, as well as saying, hey, we can play. Rebels have won the last 8 times these teams have got together, so they've got something to prove.
Sadler Smith, number 12, under center for the first time today. Let's see if the hype is real. As on first down, he's going to take it himself right through the middle, and he's going to get a gain of about 5 or 6. We didn't talk about the legs part of his game, but Sadler Smith has rushed for over 130 yards and 2 touchdowns this season, as well as leading in passing yards.
Yeah, he's the real deal. He's just one of these kids that just is a true leader. He can do it with his feet and his arms. And he's, like you say, he's second lead on the team in rushing. So it's important for him to show everybody on that team that, follow me. I might be the guy to bring you out of this funk.
Here is Smith on second down. Here comes the pressure, and he is going to be brought down before scrambling out of the pocket, as that is a great job by the Rebels D-line to close the gap and make the play. That's Tayo Cheetwa with the sack. Might not be a sack, could be just a gain of 1, but that's going to bring up a third down, and it looks like the Raiders are going to go for this one.
Yeah, it does look like it. Yeah, he tried to throw a quick pass, but the coverage was there, so he had to tuck the ball and run, but the Rebels' defensive line just closed that down pretty quick, took every avenue of escape away from him.
Will Bromelo assisting on that tackle, and the Raiders going to gamble here on 3rd and 6. In Rebels territory as Sadler looking to the left, and that is going to be caught, but not quite enough for the first down.
Might be, though.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Would you look at that? A close play, but the Raiders just going to get that first down to move the chains.
Yeah, if he had had that ball a little bit higher, it would have been a bigger gain, obviously, but he had to go down to his knee to catch it, and when your knee's on the ground, your whistle's down right away.
Blaze McCarty with the reception, and the Raiders get their first down of the football game. So here we go as the Raiders now on the Rebels' 30-yard line. Sadler Smith in the shotgun, and he is going to hand this ball off up the middle, but not a lot of real estate there, as that is number 24, Owen Giancola on the carry. He has been the lead running back for this Raiders group this season with a touchdown on the season, but not a lot going there on first down.
No, it's pretty tough. The Rebels' defensive line is very, very strong, and once they get the knack to say, okay, this is what these guys want to do, and I think what they have to do is they've got to protect against the run first, because everybody knows Sadler Smith's arm is pretty strong, and the defensive backs will be working hard.
Here's a play action as Smith out of the pocket gets roughed up on the throw into the end zone and incomplete, but there's a flag on the play as Braden Look is in disbelief as Paul Romanoff in the end zone. Looks like a PI call, and we'll wait and see what the officials say there, as that was a bit of a Hail Mary throw there by Smith, but this might pan out for the Raiders.
Yeah, I think the ball was held up a little bit with the wind, and as Romanoff came back to get it, he was bumped, like you can see it on the replay. So that's going to put the ball on the 1 yard line with a foul in the end zone like that. Yeah, you can see on the replay that he just got in his way of his opportunity to catch the pass.
So
they just moved it up 15. I apologize.
So a costly penalty here for the Rebels. Paul Romanoff almost held on to that through the coverage there, but now the Raiders knocking on the door to score the first points of this football game. As Smith in the shotgun, looking as the pocket's collapsing. He's trying to get out of trouble, and he is going to get rid of this just in time, but a near huge sack as Sadler Smith having to weave left and right as he had Bryce Ruther and Ferran Miakanlola right on the doorstep.
I'm surprised there wasn't a penalty on that, because the ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, and you could definitely see he was throwing it away. Interesting.
That would be an intentional grounding call if that were to be called. So an interesting one that I'm sure the Rebels will look back on if this is a close football game.
Oh, I would think so. Absolutely.
Here's a two-back formation here on 2nd and 10. And Smith going to throw this one. Looks like either a free play one way or another. Is Smith just going to try and get through here? He is tackled hard there by Cole Bunting. And we'll see who jumped the line there, but looked like an awkward start there by the Raiders.
Yeah, offside on the Rebels, so it's going to give the Raiders a 2nd and 5. They have a chance to get a first down here with the ball sitting, I guess it'll be now on about the 7 yard line. Yeah, it's again, the history of these two teams, emotion has played a huge part in it. But that was mainly at the beginning. The first 5 years, it was very, very emotional. And it was like, they talk about teams on the field dancing, they're, tangoing. But when these guys get together, it's a mosh pit. And so I think if they could keep those emotions in check, and basically it's the coaches, because they're the ones that played in those other games. These kids, some of them weren't even born. So it's...
There's a catch at the end zone, and it is a touchdown called. What a catch there, as that is Ruben Bonsu, the #1 receiver for the Raiders, with a tremendous catch right on the edge of the end zone, just keeping his feet in bounds. We might have to see a replay to see if he even did keep it in. What a play.
Yeah, I think he got the 1 foot down, but he out-leapt here and just made a great catch. Yeah, he got his left foot down. That was a good start for the Raiders. Now the Rebels have to answer.
Ruben Bonsu with the major score, and he has been Sadler Smith's #1 option, 433 receiving yards. That leads the BC Football Conference, and that's now his 6th touchdown on the year, also #1 in BCFC.
#1, yeah, and that's that combination. Bonsu and Smith have been ripping it up so far in their first 5 games, and it's something they want to build upon. I know when they kind of rebuilt this team, they had Sean Arasky, the head coach. He came in halfway through the year last year, and he's a former player with the Raiders, and I think he just got himself surrounded by the proper people that believe in him and want to take this organization and get it back to where it was when they won 3 Canadian Bowls in 4 years. So it's one of those things that takes time, because they've only won 2 games over the last 24, and they want to get that 3rd one, and then you get going.
And offensive coordinator Jake LeBerge also under center for a lot of those wins, and knows what it takes to win in this kind of territory. And he's got himself off to a good start here as Raiders strike first 7-0, and they are kicking the ball away. It's Aiden Bowles again returning here for the Rebels, looking for an opening, but he is going to be met immediately by the special teams unit for the Raiders. That's Parker Moscrip making the tackle. And the Rebels going to have to start near their own 30-yard line on their 2nd drive of the game.
Yeah, it was good coverage by Scrop as he came downfield. He didn't move. You can see on the replay that he kept himself square to the line of scrimmage and just was able to make the tackle.
So here comes Ethan Picard and company, unsuccessful on their first drive of the game. Going to look for at least a couple first downs here, get the wheels turning. as it's been slow again here for the Rebels offense. It's Picard on first down, going to drop back and throw. That one going to be caught, and not a lot of gains there as the Rebels do swarm in there. And there is some words after the catch there. That's Kai Nickel on the reception. It's only a gain of about 2 or 3, maybe call it 4, and it's 2nd and 6.
Yeah, just a nice little crossing route. Hit the guy that's open, but the Raiders, got on it pretty quick, and didn't allow him to break the tackle and limit the gain. But a manageable 2nd down here for the Rebels. They just be patient.
Here is Picard going to throw it to the left. That's caught by Zion Brown. Good for a first down as he stiff arms his way out of bounds, but a flag thrown. And this could be not good news for the Rebels here. We'll wait and see.
Well, it could be false face mask against the Raiders as they pushed him out of bounds. I noticed there was a couple hands up high, but it looks like Ryan Vincent's pointing back towards his own goal line, that it's against us.
And it sounds like a broken record here, Paul, but we always talk about penalties with this Rebels football team, and that's one more case of just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, and they lead the league in penalties, and both number of penalties during the game as well as yardage. And it's one of those things you have to overcome. And I thought that's what hurt them against the Okanagan Sun, and the Suns come back in the fourth quarter. And these are the games when you're playing a team that you should beat. These are the games that you have to be disciplined, so you get into that mindset, that habit. So when you play the teams you have to beat to take a higher step up, you're disciplined.
So is that marker correct there, Paul? It's first down, or is this 2nd down?
This should be first down.
Okay, so here we are on the handoff as Ryan Vincent up the middle, and a great job there by the Raiders defense, as that is Colton Finstad. He has 21 tackles on the year. That is one of the best in the BCFC. Count that as number 22, is number 5 on your screen in white. Wraps the tackle, good tackle there. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, Colton really patrols the center of that defense. First class. He's a very, whoa.
And this Rebels offense is all out of sorts there as Picard trying to scramble out of the pocket but had no protection. And the Rebels going to have to punt this ball away on 3rd down. And you get the sense by the silence of this stadium that the Rebels are just kind of shocked at what's going on right now.
Absolutely, yeah. And on that play there, when Ethan tried to turn around on it, he had his head down. And if he'd gone the other way and had his head up, he would have picked up some yardage. But he ran right into the Raiders defender and a loss of 5 yards. And again, a punting situation. Going to give the Raiders pretty good field position if it's a return here.
Charlie Wiersma with another short kick kicking into the wind, and this one going to stop right around midfield there, about the 52. And Raiders wanted no yards there. It looks like there is a flag down.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there will be no yards, but only the 5-yard variety based on the fact that the ball hit the ground and was rolling.
So
That's a lot of penalties against the Rebels, and we're only, 7 minutes into the game.
So the ball will be spotted into Rebels territory here. And now the Raiders really have a chance here while this Rebels team is reeling to tack on some more points and make this an even tougher comeback here for Westshore.
Yeah, and again, it's a confidence builder, and when you have success running the ball, passing the ball, or just what they have here with field position, it's contagious throughout the whole team. That confidence level goes right up.
Sadler Smith getting his receivers in motion, takes the snap, and it's going to be a screen pass here to Paul Romanoff, and he's going to try and break out the wide side, but Fermi Akinlola with a great tackle around the side, and that's going to be maybe a loss of yardage.
Yeah, it was a lateral to begin with, and they did lose 2 yards on it, but I didn't think it was a very wise play to run to the short side like that, because the Rebels' short side defense is the strongest, I think, in the league.
So that is going to back up the Raiders here to 2nd and 13 here, and Sadler Smith going to have to sling this one to get a first down. Receivers in motion. He's backing up. Here comes the pressure, and he is not going to get away, or is he? What a move there by Sadler Smith. He's going to take it himself. Is he going to get to the first down marker? Ooh, it's going to be close. as how did Sadler Smith
get out
escape
of
that
that?
tackle?
Wow. Got to definitely see the replay on that one. I thought he was already on the ground. Amazing.
Sadler Smith with a Houdini trick, but that's not going to quite get him to the first down marker as it's 3rd and 3 still. And it worked out last time. Looks like the Raiders going to try it again as you quickly see this replay. I don't know how number 12 doesn't get tackled here. He's got 4 Rebels on him,
wow.
and he sneaks out of pressure, and it's new life is here as the Raiders on 3rd down going to go for it. And this time they are not going to get it, as it was a handoff play to Owen Giancola, and the Rebels defense gets the stop in the end, and that will be a turnover on downs.
But that's also one of those things that, from a Raiders standpoint, if they had punted the football, you're going to put the Rebels deep. This could be the little spark the Rebels need to get something going here.
Here is the replay again one more time, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and somehow Sadler Smith comes out of that. I have not seen that before, and nearly got the first down, as here on first down it's Kwame Franklin on the screen pass, and he's barely going to get back to the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 2nd and long here for this Rebels offense, who to this point have not seen any success.
No, they've struggled. Maybe they've picked up 5-6 yards total offense at this point, because the penalties have hurt them as well, but they just got to settle in and do what they do best. If you want to run. If you feel you're going to pass, then pass.
Here's Picard rolling out of the pocket, going to throw for Zion Brown, and that is caught by number 4. And this time, no flag on the play, and that will move the chains for the Rebels' first down of the game.
Yeah, well, between Kwame and Zion, you got 2 sure-handed guys, and your guaranteed go-tos are going to catch the football.
So now it is 1st and 10, and Picard going to hand this one off to Ryan Vincent. He's got a bit of blocking to work with, and he's going to get about halfway there. It's a gain of about 5 as Ryan Vincent taking over after Carter Williams went down in that Okanagan game and hasn't really looked back at that starting job.
No, and he brings a little different dimension than what Carter does. Carter's got just tremendous speed, and he's very elusive, but Ryan has speed plus power, so you're not really losing too much, if anything.
Here is 2nd and 6, and Picard going to throw up the middle, and that is going to be caught by Tristan Ramos-Aravallo, who did a great job of coming back just at the last moment, and that's going to move the chains as this Rebels offense starting to catch gear here.
Yeah, he picked that right off the top of the turf, and just enough for the first down, and the Rebels stay alive here with this drive going.
Here you see on the replay is number 81 just coming back in time, keeping that off the turf, is on first down. It's Ryan Vincent on the horse collar tackle, and the flags stay in the pocket, and the Rebels sideline not happy with that call, and that's going to be a short gain, if any.
Yeah, Finstead he smelt that right away, and I thought, with you, that he got his arms up and around the horse collar area, but the officials saw it a little bit differently.
Here is Picard on 2nd and long, and it's going to be Tristan Ramos-Aravallo, and he is going to stay on his feet. Does he have enough for a first down? We'll have to see where this ball is spotted.
Yeah, it looks like it.
But Tristan Ramos-Aravallo, a couple big catches, and he's in the danger zone right down the middle there, but that's going to move the chains for another Rebels first down.
Yeah, again, just a stop road, go down 12, turn around, catch the football, and you get another set of downs here.
And here is a screen pass, and it's 81 again. He's going to go down the sideline, and he's just going to be wrapped up prior to the goal line as Ramos-Aravallo on fire here, marching this ball downfield, and that will move the chains to 1st and goal.
Yeah, it was a very nice and well-designed play as he got outside. He went right to the sideline, and he was tracked down by a Raiders defender. It was determined not to let him score, so they're going to have the ball 1st and goal here on about the 5. And great opportunity for the Rebels to get back into this football game.
So here we go, 1st and goal. It's going to be Ryan Vincent, sheds a block, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. And the Rebels have an answer as Ryan Vincent gets the score. And with the extra point looming, we could have a tie football game.
Yeah, and it was just an untouched run to the end zone. And the best part of it for the Rebels is that the ease of that drive you might have some of the minds of the Raiders thinking, oh, geez, here we go again.
Here comes the extra point from Charlie Wiersma. Zion Brown, the holder. Bit of a low snap. Good job by Zion to get that through, and the extra point is good. So make it 7-7, and we have a new football game here late in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was still 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, but entertaining. Both teams, Rebels took a while to get going, but they put a nice drive together, this one that ended in the score. And the Raiders also put a drive together that resulted in the score for them. But yeah, it's long way from being over, but now it's up to the Rebels defense to get the ball back quickly. So if they're going to want to take dominance in this football game, I think they've got to put another touchdown on the board before the end of this quarter. And again, the wind's blowing pretty good, so that's in the favor of the Raiders, because the Rebels get a second quarter and they can really ramp it up, with their throwing game to open this up.
So Gio Lanuzzi going to kick this ball away, and it's a booming kick down the left sideline, out of bounds. Flags fly as they'll move this ball up about, 10 yards, 15?
Goes up to the 40.
40 yards.
40-yard line, first down.
So the Rebels offense finally catches gear here. And a good turnout here at Starlight Stadium. Again, it's windy, it's cold. We've skipped the dog days of summer, and we're right into fall here. Thank you for joining us here on BCFC TV or Telus Optic, wherever you're tuning in from. And one of the things about the Westshore games here is usually the visiting team has to catch the ferry, so we're used to 4 p.m. start times here, but we have a 7 o'clock nightcap, which means we actually have an out-of-town scoreboard for you.
That's true.
And that means the Langley Rams, 27-8 victors over those Valley Huskers. They move to 4-1 and take second place. So all of a sudden here, the Rebels really need this win to keep pace with not only the Sun, but also the Langley Rams, who are 1 game ahead.
Yeah, and the Rebels, they get the bye next week, and then they're back up in Nanaimo. Then they host Langley, which could be the game of the year, really, at that point.
Here's a first down handoff, and that is going to be Ted Wyndham Jr. on the tackle, as that's Giancola, number 24 for the Raiders, on the ground. It's a gain of a few, but that's going to bring up a 2nd and long.
Yeah, that's the first time they've really attacked the off-tackle part. They tried to run right up the middle or try to get wide, but this time they just went off-tackle a little bit. Picked up 4, but when you have a quarterback that throws the ball as well as Smith does, they're not going to lean on the run that much.
So here we go, 2nd and 6. Receivers in motion, empty backfield, and Smith going to throw it, and that is going to be incomplete as Paul Romanoff, the intended receiver, he was looking for a flag on that play, but it looks like the punt team going to come out on that incompletion. Yeah,
it was pretty close, but you get in a position like that, the ball was where it had to be, and defender was on his back, and Romanoff just couldn't get his hands on it.
There you see on the replay is pretty good coverage there by the Rebels secondary. And that is going to bring out the punt team for the first time, as that was Beau Nouvremont, number 29 for the Rebels, breaking that one up. And now the Raiders going to punt this one away, and I believe this is Riker Sansbury going to kick this one away. Number 21, as that's nearly blocked, as the Rebels special teams unit nearly got there. And there's a flag behind the play as the Rebels going to be pushed out of bounds, and the coach is trying to make sure that nothing spills over here, as we're starting to see some of that bad blood rising here.
It's always going to happen. Anytime players get into the opposition bench, that's their territory, and they don't want you in there. They got a roughing the kicker here, so that's going to move the ball up 15 yards, and it'll be a first down. Unless they call it contacting, but I thought it was roughing. Yeah, they're contacting the kicker. So 10-yard penalty, but they ordered their 2nd down and 6 at the point, so their first down.
So tough break for the Rebels, as once again the penalties coming back to hurt them, and that's going to keep Sadler Smith on the football field, which is never what you want if you're a Rebels fan. So number 12 in white back on the field, back in the saddle. And let's see what this Raiders offense could do with new life. Receivers in motion, and it is going to be a flip play to Paul Romanoff, and he is going to be hammered, as that is a huge hit. and words exchanged there, and that might set the tone for the rest of this football game as Bo Nouvremont with a punishing hit there in the middle.
Oh, the Rebels really converged on that play, and Bo just came out of nowhere and put the lumber to him. I think he should have been honking his horn before he got there because he was like a truck out of control.
It looked like he almost got Bryce Ruther just as much as he got the other player. Bit of a team kill there, but that's going to bring up second and long as Smith looking to throw here on second down. He's got a receiver, but he drops the football. A unforced error there by Owen Giancola, normally a running back, but didn't quite have the hands in check there, and that's going to bring out the punt team once again.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for the Raiders because Owen was wide open, and he had a lot of territory, a lot of green between him and the defender. He would have definitely got the first down. But that's what the Rebels needed. They took a couple penalties on this drive that the Raiders have had the ball, and now they're going to get it back. And that's the time, again, to step up, make your plays, and just kind of settle in and move the football.
So here is the kick team again. It's another booming kick. Again, they are into the wind here. So this is going to be a tough play for John Boubard. Is he going to run this out? He's going to try to, and he is going to be brought down just out of the goal line. Is that the smart play there, or would you let that one sit in the end zone and give up the extra point?
Well, since it went into the end zone and he made it out, they moved the ball to the 20-yard line. And that was a rule that was put in basically to encourage returns because everybody was kneeling down or giving up the point. And so they said, okay, if you can get it out of the end zone, even if you get to the 1-inch line, we're going to give it to you at the 20. But yeah, sometimes this early in the game, a single point shouldn't hurt you.
So John Boubard getting it out of the end zone, and that will spot the ball at the 20. And Ethan Picard and co. back on the field after a successful drive to get points on the board here and tie this football game, looking for more here.
Well, they had great success through the air the last drive and finished it off with a touchdown run.
And here is a jet sweep down the side. It's Tristan Ramos-Aravallo, and he is going to be shoved into the Raiders sideline. It's a short gain. We'll see where the ball is spotted, but we do have a player down on the far side of the football field as one of the Rebels' O-linemen is down. So it's a gain. We'll just see where this ball is spotted here. It looked like a gain of about 6.
Yeah, Nelson way down on that one. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, it was a gain of about 6.5. But it's a good play. Again, you run those to tell the defense we can do this too, and it's a positive gain. So it's something that the defense now, with that motion, has to honor and make sure they keep their people in position, which will open up other things.
Nelson Way still being attended to there on the field. And looks like the Rebels just trying to find a replacement here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he went down or what happened to him, but a lot of time with the big guys, there's collateral damage as they're making blocks and other guys fall and roll into them and hurt an ankle, hurt a knee.
Yeah, and it looks like on the replay there, that is indeed what happened as one of the other Rebels O-linemen just pushed a D-lineman into the back of his leg and down he went. And it's so hard to prepare for that because you got your back turned and you don't really see it coming and you can't really brace for it. And it looks like he just got chopped down, unfortunately, while not looking. So we hope that Nelson Way is okay. It looks like he's being supported off the field and he'll get looked at by the trainers here.
Looks like he's got a decent amount of weight on it. So it was one of those ones probably you get to the sideline, the trainers will stretch it out a little bit, put a bit of ice on it. But this is where the next guy up gets his opportunity, and you just hope that that Nelson isn't hurt seriously. You hate to see anybody miss games or a season because of an injury.
So Nelson Way off, substitutions on. And we will resume play here. The Rebels looking at a 2nd and 5 here, and Picard looking to throw this right away, and that one is just an errant pass intended for Zion Brown. And now the Rebels punt team going to have to come out here on 3rd and 5.
Yeah, I thought Ethan was a little quick with his feet to release that football and wasn't really set on it and throwing it into the wind as well, and it just might have wind might have picked it up and just carried it a bit too high.
Again, you could probably hear it on our headsets with the wind howling here. It's a pretty good breeze here at Starlight Stadium, and it is blowing right into the Rebels' offense right now. So because they received the ball, the Raiders able to choose which way they were going to play, and it looks like they want to play with the wind here in the first quarter, as there's a great job by the Rebels special teams unit making no gain there whatsoever, as that's Harmon Ahuja, as he was the returner, but no yards really to speak of there, and the Raiders going to start near midfield here.
Yeah, Jaden Kohler-Scott was just right on top of him, made a well designed tackle there. You're not going anywhere past me, man. That's his thinking on that one. That had to be. But yeah, if it gets windier, I'm going on the ground. This scaffold starts to shake. Yeah.
So here comes the Raiders offense playing into the wind here, and Sadler Smith on first down going to hand this ball off up the middle, but the Rebels D-line once again closing the gaps there. As once again it's Gian Cola up the middle, but not much to speak of on the ground, and that's really been the Raiders' MO. It's been through the air that they've done most of the damage this year.
Yeah, you have to run the ball here and there just to keep the front seven honest, that they can't drop out and you can't allow the defensive line to get in the mindset that I'm going to be pass rushing this entire game. They still have to play to stop the running, but it's a tough slog. Rebels defensive line is very, very strong.
2nd and 7, empty backfield and receivers in motion. Here's Smith. He's going to throw this one right away into double coverage. Intercepted as he was looking for Paul Romanoff but had nowhere to go with that football. And that is number 23. That's Denise Moses with the interception. And that is a huge turning point as the Rebels defense getting the better of Sadler Smith, bringing the pressure right up the middle and forcing the turnover.
Yeah, there was the turnover, but unfortunately at the end of the play, Cole Bunting, number 13 on the Rebels, he went and pushed on this right there, and it cost them. That's a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that's going to push them back another 10 yards. And it's just, again, one of those, call it unnecessary roughness. So that, decent field position, now you're back inside your 20-yard line. And again, the penalties hurt these guys. They got a good record, but at some point they're going to really hurt, and then you get at the end of the season, you're going to be looking at those two figures, how many penalties and how many penalty yards per game.
So the Rebels being pushed back deep into their own territory near the 15-yard line, and only about 7 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, so this could be the final play, and it's going to be a handoff right up the middle, and that's going to be Ryan Vincent as he does a good job of breaking a tackle and getting a gain of about 6, but that's going to spell the end of our first quarter, and for the Rebels, spell the end of playing into the wind, which might be more important than you think here at the end of the first quarter.
Absolutely, and I think they're definitely going to be looking forward to heading into the having the wind at their back, and they only got a second down and 2.5 to go here, so they get that first down and then start all over again and keep it going.
So after one, we are where we started this football game, all square.
Yeah, the Rebels have to, just settle down a little bit, control the emotions, and do what you do best. And what we've seen so far is Brian Vincent, every time he's touched the ball, he's picking up 5-6 yards. But they've been throwing the ball quite well, and that's what's helped them on that first touchdown drive.
And again, thank you for tuning in here to BCFC TV or Telus Optic. Again, we apologize for the wind noise, but it is howling up here in the broadcast booth, and Paul and I, as long as the rest of our broadcast crew here, are not shaded by the elements whatsoever here. We are in the thick of it, so we again thank you for your patience. If you were listening on your stereo surround system at home and hear the howling wind throughout the game.
That's
again,
true.
Unfortunately, we can't control the weather, so we'll do what we can up here as we are back underway here at Starlight Stadium, and that's Ryan Vincent up the middle, strong run. That should move the chains for a Rebels first down.
Yeah, again, just right off tackle. Nobody there, and Ryan, every time you hand the ball, he's going to pick you positive yards. And they control Colt Finstad. He's a really good linebacker, and if they can run away from him, make him move his feet the best he can, There you go.
Oh, and there's an incompletion as Lyndon Williams tripped up with the defensive back there. And the Rebels looking for a flag. They're not going to get it, though, and it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think they just inadvertent catching the feet together and, no harm, no foul type thing, because it was inadvertent. Nobody was trying to get an advantage.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10 here, and the Rebels now trying to figure out what they're going to do here on this 2nd and long scenario, somewhere they have had struggles with throughout the year, but let's see if they can pull it off. Here is Picard going to drop back and go for Vincent. He is going to be brought down immediately, as that is Kaya Saunders, the veteran DB here for the Raiders, a real bright spot of the team last year. He makes a big tackle here, and that's going to force the Rebels to kick this football away.
Yeah, he read that quite well, because it looked like they were trying to set up a screen pass, and he slipped under one of the first blockers and was right there as Ryan caught the pass to put him on the ground.
Was wondering when Kaya Saunders would come into this football game, because last year against the Rebels he had a pick 6. He had some big plays for the Raiders when they were really looking for any spark of hope. So nice to see number 27 on the field here for the Raiders and making some good impact plays here. As this kick, not a bad one, is Charlie Wiersma that time into the wind, and that is going to push the Raiders back into their own side of the ball, but after this no yards penalty will be near midfield.
It might only be a 5-yarder, so because of the ball bounced. But yeah, with the wind swirling around, you never know where the punts are going to go, and your cover team gets down pretty quick. So they're not aware. They're not looking for the ball. They're looking to see who's going to catch it, so they can make the tackle.
So Sadler, Smith and company now playing into the wind for the first time today. And we'll see how much that hampers number 12's arm, which he has shown off in flashes, but we haven't seen the huge airing it out, minus that beautiful touchdown pass to Bonsu in the first quarter. As Smith under center, receivers in motion, takes the snap, and it's going to be a handoff play once again. And once again, only getting back to the line of scrimmage is number 24, Owen Giancola, who hasn't had a lot of success up the middle so far, and it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the Rebels defense really swarmed to that play. They were in a I formation with tight ends, so generally if you're setting up like that, that means you're going to be running the football. So the Rebels were able to read the blocks and get in position to make that tackle and squeeze it down to where there was no escape.
So here come the Raiders, I formation once again. Smith under center, and it's going to be a play action. He's looking for Bonsu, and it's going to be intercepted once again, and it's 23 again. He's got some room to run. He's going down the left side. He's got some blocks. Here he goes. And is he going to get all the way there? Paul Romanoff just gets there in time. A huge play once again by number 23 for the Rebels. As once again, it is Denis Moses with his 2nd interception of the half. A huge return, and the Rebels setting up in great field position.
He was in the right place at the right time, and he attacked the football and got up in front of it to make the catch. Romanoff was going up himself, but Moses was ready to get his hands on it, and he kept his feet, and he was working, and you can see on the replay he's following his blockers, and Romanoff just comes up from behind to make the tackle on about the 9-yard line.
Denis Moses, 2 interceptions in the half, a strong contender for BCFC Defensive Player of the Week if he keeps this up. And now the Rebels knocking on the door. 1st and goal, and it's going to be a handoff to Ryan Vincent up the middle, and he is going to be stuffed as he does have nowhere to go, as that is Brevin Arnill on the tackle for the Raiders. A good stand there, and now 2nd and goal.
Yeah, again, they scored the first time when they got that close on the run, but here I think you're going to see on the next play that Ethan's going to be rolling out and throwing the football.
Picard under center for 2nd down, play action, looking for the right sideline for Kwame Franklin, and incomplete, but flags fly as it looks like pass interference going to be the call. That should spot the ball 1st and goal at the 1, but we'll wait and see what the call is.
Yeah, it was a good, well, Ethan put the ball where nobody else could catch it. If Kwame couldn't get it, then nobody was going to catch it, and as the defender went up, he probably got his hands on it. The replay here should show it, but yeah, he just got a little too aggressive going up to get the football.
So that is going to move the ball to first and goal at the 1, and all that's left to do is punch this ball in. But it's not done until it's done, Paul.
Yeah, but I think you're going to see Ryan Vincent here, because if you've been picking up 4 or 5 yards a run, I think you get off on the ball, you can get his power into the end zone.
So it looks like the Rebels going to bring in a fullback here, and Ryan Vincent in the I formation. Here is the handoff to Vincent. He's going in, and it is a touchdown, his second of the day, as Ryan Vincent punches it in, and the Rebels have their first lead of the football game.
Well, they took advantage of the penalty, and that's important to do, because teams have been kind of taking advantage of the Rebels when they have some penalties. So that was a good accomplishment there.
Again, Ryan Vincent taking over the starting job for Carter Williams, who was explosive in the first few weeks, but unfortunately got injured, and he is picked off right where Carter Williams left off, is on the ground, another touchdown, his second of the day, and all that's left to do is kick this extra point as Charlie Wiersma up and through, make it 14-7 Rebels early in the second quarter.
Yeah, again, a good drive. The Rebels got some good field position on the exchange of the punts, and then the interception helped big time. And they took advantage of it. That's with the 2 turnovers, and they both snuffed out Raider opportunities, and they turned them into points. It'll be interesting now to see where the Raiders are going to go. You know, they've been a little frustrated trying to get the run game off the ground, if you will, and so we might start to see a little bit more steady diet of Sadler Smith's arm, but with this wind, it's very, very difficult to throw the ball with any accuracy. The wind will pick it up and start to move it around.
Again, one of the luxuries of a 7 o'clock game time is we can bring you the out-of-town scoreboard. Kamloops Broncos up 21-3 against the Prince George Kodiaks in Prince George, so good effort so far from the Broncos as this ball kicked well by Gio Lanuzzi deep into the end zone, and the Raiders going to try and go out wide. There could be a chance of a good play here down the sideline, as that's Savion Townsend, and he is going to get past the 30-yard line, so a good return. He started deep in field position, but a good job by Townsend there to get through the edge and get some good yardage.
Yeah, Savion is the top returner with the Raiders, and he returns punts and kickoffs, but he gave them good field position. Unfortunately, stepped out of bounds on about the 28-yard line, which is, you'd like to try to get to a minimum the 35, but the Raiders have the football, and they're going to see what they can do with it here.
So Sadler Smith back out on the field. And on first down, he's going to throw this one to the left. That is going to be Bonsu, caught, and he breaks a tackle, and I believe is going to move the chains by getting by his defensive back, as that is number 8, and he is going to be very important here if the Raiders want to contend in this football game between that connection of Sadler Smith and Henry Bonsu.
Well, they've been the connection so far in their first 4 games, so it's something that's very important to maintain that. He just missed getting the first down, so it's come up second about looks like about maybe a foot.
So 2nd and 1, Ruben Bonsu on the 9-yard reception and under center, and it looks like Sadler Smith going to try it himself, but the football's out, and it looks like the Rebels have recovered. And hold on here, are they saying that Smith was down before? But no, it is Rebels football, as Sadler Smith called his own number, and the Rebels are going to recover the fumble and take over with good field position. This could be a turning point of this football game.
Yeah, I didn't see who came in had hold of his ankle, and he couldn't go anywhere, and the second guy in forced the ball out. But that's the 4th turnover, 2 interceptions, a turnover on downs, and a fumble so far in this first half, and we're only 4 minutes into the second quarter.
Roman Duhala, number 96 for the Rebels, is the one that recovers that. And Westshore has a chance to take a 2-score lead now in Raider territory. Is on first down. Picard looking deep, ball here, and will he have a man? No, he will not, as it's incomplete. And that was, I can't see the number, it looks like Lyndon Williams down the far sideline, number 8. Looked to get open down the streak route and just missed a big play.
Yeah, I think, again, Ethan throws it here, but the wind's playing a little bit of havoc with it, but he put it where it had to be, outside, far shoulder, So if nobody catches it and it rolls out of bounds, you get another down. But yeah, tough throwing the football in windy conditions like this.
So 2nd and 10, and Picard looking to throw again as he's going to sling it to Zion Brown. That is caught and complete, and Zion Brown breaks a couple of tackles, and that looks to be enough to move the chains as the extra determination there by number 4 moves the chains for a Rebels first down.
Yeah, it's just keep feeding him the football. He's had a good game so far. He just runs a quick out here and then breaks a tackle and picks up another 6 or 7. Good position here for the Rebels on about the 16-yard line.
Here is Picard on first down, pressure coming, and he is going to take it himself, and that's a dangerous play as Ethan Picard all right.
Late hit as well.
And the flags come out as a bit of an awkward, I don't know what to even call it, a slide by Picard. He went down head first and took a late hit there, so we'll wait and see where this one goes, but definitely not a traditional slide from the quarterback there.
No, and he wants to be a running back. You step over the line of scrimmage, you want to tuck the ball away and be one of those guys that runs guys over. But I think he might have slipped a touch there, and as he ran into him, and then I think it was number 96 from the Raiders came in late and definitely late hit on top of him.
Olamide Agdebek. Sorry if I butchered that pronunciation, which I did. But he was the one who went in there afterwards and got the hit. And it looks like there's a penalty. Was that to the Rebels?
No, they've signaled Raiders. That should move. That should put the ball, move it up. Oh, okay, so there are 2 penalties, so they just cancel each other out, so they're replaying the down.
Interesting. All right.
I saw the late hit flag, but I didn't see what the other flag was.
Yeah, I know the Rebels player did push 96 for the Raiders there.
Yeah, that might have been, but
Agdebek. I'll get it right by the end of the game, I promise. But yeah, that was what I saw in the replay, is that one of the Rebels players came to the aid of Picard after the play and kind of gave him a shove. But looks like that might have cost the Rebels some extra yardage, and it's 2nd and 7 here. Picard under center still. Going to throw this one, and looking for Lyndon Williams, just incomplete. And it looks like the field goal unit going to be coming out here for the Rebels to see if they can expand this lead even further to 10 points.
Yeah, and use Charlie's leg here. Wiersma's 5 of 7 kicking field goals, so you might also take advantage of it. Put you up by 10 points. Yeah, that was just a receiver slip there. The ball was a little bit slow or low, and but you're close enough where you can get the field goal try. But they don't have anybody out there to hold.
And Zion Brown, where are you? Number 4. We're looking for a player. And here's coming. It looks like a delay of game penalty going to happen here. So that means this play going to be pushed back 5 yards. And that's just again, an unnecessary penalty by the Rebels here. And kind of been the story of the season thus far, that they really haven't been able to get that under wraps.
Yeah, it's frustrating. As coaches, you get very, very frustrated with it, but it's something that it takes time. Maybe they lose a game because of silly penalties, and then that starts to sink in that, hey, we can't do this. And but that one there was just Zion. You don't know what happened to him. He might have been being taped, or couldn't find his mouth guard, or so I would have. They tried to call a timeout, but unfortunately the officials didn't hear it.
But that will prevail as the unforced error luckily doesn't come back to hurt them, as Charlie Wiersma kicks that one through from 22 yards, and the Rebels take a 17-7 lead. But yes, the Rebels sideline very upset as they thought they called timeout, but unfortunately the official did not hear them. But they still get 3 points on the board, and all is well. You kind of just move on and forget at that point.
Oh, absolutely, and it's just one of those things that, again, you got to take the positive out of that. You move the ball down, you had an opportunity for a touchdown, but you still come away with some points.
So here comes the Raiders as they take over at their own 35, now down 10. And haven't seen much success since that early touchdown, as here's a throw on first down. That is going to be caught. Gain of about 8 as 3 Rebels in on the tackle right away. as that was number 21. That's Riker Sansbury who made the catch, and call it second and about 3 here.
Well, that's what the Rebels have been all around the football. They haven't been able to run the ball against them, and when they do throw, they're tackled right away. So it's just kind of like you got to get the rhythm, get your rhythm, and then finally it'll frustrate the Raiders that they're not having success with anything.
Empty backfield set here for Smith. Here comes the pressure, and he is going to go down as Ted Wyndham Jr. on the sack. A huge play there by number 9 in red, and that is going to bring out the punt team as this Rebels D-line has been dominant so far.
Yeah, and again, they're putting pressure right into Sadler Smith's face, and I think that Ted leads the Rebels in tackles and defensive points, and it's not a surprise that he would be in there to get that sack.
So the Raiders forced to kick this one away as they are now searching for questions here, as the Rebels were earlier on in this game. And this kick just through the field. It's a low squib kick, and this one going to be brought on here by the Rebels, and they're going to try down the left sideline, but nowhere to go. Is a great job there by the Raiders special teams unit to avoid any yards there. As I'm just pulling up the numbers here throughout the wind blowing away all my papers, as that's Roman Poggi on the return, has just had nowhere to go there.
Yeah, the Raiders covered that pretty good, and it was number 4, Jake Smith, that made the tackle, forced him out of bounds, but he didn't let him go, so it was one of those plays that he had to just hold on to him, because you have him close to the sideline. You can use the sideline as the 13th man.
Here is Kwame Franklin on the reception down the right sideline, and he had a bit of daylight there. And I think he's still going to get the first down there, as he was down the right sideline on the screen pass, and number 11, often not forgot about, but not usually the number 1 option, but very reliable.
Oh, absolutely. He's got great hands, and it looks like he just came up, about a yard shy, but yeah, there's between Zion and Kwame, it's just like pick your poison, basically. They're going to catch the ball. Both of them will catch the ball and create yards after the catch.
So 2nd and 1, and Ethan Picard going to go under center here. They're in the I formation, and he's going to throw this one. He's going to look for a deep ball here for Kwame Franklin, and the wind made that one out of reach, incomplete, and now is it gamble time here for the Westshore Rebels?
Yeah, I think looks like Coach Townsend saying, yeah, we're going to go for this for sure. But yeah, again, the wind just held the ball up a little bit. Kwame was wide open. I shouldn't say wide open, but he had a couple steps on the defender.
So a big stop here for the Raiders defense. Can they cause a turnover on downs here? And can the Rebels push through to move the chains and keep this drive going? As they're going to spread out this offense. A weird snap off the line, and Picard just going to throw this ball away. I don't know what happened with that snap, but that was bizarre. And the Rebels just going to turn this one away, as it looked like Picard didn't want to compound the problem and just got rid of it.
Yeah, well, I think the snap right from the start, the center probably didn't have a good hold on it. And the ball popped up, and Ethan just said, okay, I'll just throw it out of bounds. No harm, no foul. Let's turn the ball over and put our defense back on the field, and they'll get the ball back for us in a couple plays.
So here comes the Raiders offense. Sadler Smith back out on the field again. We haven't seen the Raiders march this football since early in the first quarter when they got the lead in this game, and now they've lost 17 points in a row. And there is some confusion going on here as Sadler Smith forced to call a timeout, as they do not have enough players on the field. And if you're the Raiders, you can't afford to shoot yourself in the foot at this stage.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's just, sometimes you're on the bench and you're just getting some water. You don't hear that the offense is out there, or, maybe you're talking to a teammate, and next thing you know, they're yelling at you, and then they have to call a timeout, and you have to run onto the field, and every eyeball in the stadium is on you.
Not a good feeling. But now the Raiders have enough players on the field, and we can continue. as it's going to be another I formation look. Sadler Smith under center. And let's see where this play goes, as it's going to be some movement. And Smith going to try and throw this one right away. That's going to be caught and pulled out of bounds, as Sadler Smith taking a big hit to make that play happen. But Blaze McCarty gets the reception, and that will move the chains. Sorry, it won't move the chains. It'll be second and about 5.
Yeah, that was a good pass. He had pressure coming up the middle on him. He was forced to, I think, throw it before he wanted to, but it was a nice crisp pattern that gets you that intermediate gain, so you have a choice now, run or pass on second down.
Under center again is Sadler Smith in the I. And this time it's a handoff play up the middle, and that one could be close.
Yeah, it looks like about a yard shy.
As that's Giancola on the carry, a gain of about 4. And not going to be enough for a first down, so 3rd and 1. And now it looks like the Raiders going to go for it once again here.
Hopefully they change with the last time they turned the ball over. They tried to run right up the middle, and they didn't push the Rebels' defensive line anywhere.
Here is Sadler Smith on the quarterback sneak. A flag does fly right off the line. It looks like Smith got enough for the first. But let's wait and see what this flag is.
Usually, like something like that, the defensive line trying to get an advantage and just jump offside just prior to the snap. Because if it's against the Raiders, it looks like the Raiders are stepping backwards. Usually, when it's a legal procedure, they blow the whistle before the play goes off. So. That's why I didn't see it, but somebody could have been lined up offside too on the Raiders, one of the receivers.
So now this turns into a 3rd and 7 near midfield here.
I don't know why I'd be punting the football. You're only down by 10. It's plenty of time left.
Sadler Smith gonna kick this ball away after all. They listened to you, Paul. They heard you. And Gio Lanuzzi going to return this down the left sideline. He's got one guy to beat. Will Gio Lanuzzi get there? Yes, he will. He's got Paul Romanoff on the run. And Gio Lanuzzi going to be brought down near the 15-yard line, as that is a huge return by number 2. And he might have compounded this, though, by taking an unnecessary penalty, which just seems like a theme with this team, Paul.
Yeah, well, I think it was number 56 on the Rebels that got into Paul Romanoff's face. I'm just trying to find, Jonathan Davis. I think he got into Romanoff's face to, celebrate that it's you. You've been with the Raiders the longest, and we're going to get after you a little bit here, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and if that replay went about 3 seconds longer, you would have seen Lanuzzi give the ball back to Romanoff, who didn't like it, who threw it at Lanuzzi, and then it just kind of compounded. So, again, we've seen hints of this bad blood throughout the game and these little petty.
Oh, they're calling it against the Raiders. Half the distance, unsportsmanlike conduct.
So the Raiders now backing themselves up to 1st and goal here, and the Rebels can take a 2.5 score lead here. As now it's the Raiders who are really trying to figure this one out, as they have been on their back foot since early in the first quarter and haven't really gotten back into form here.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that now, you're digging a hole deeper and deeper, and just more and more frustrating.
That's Ryan Vincent on the first down carry. He gained a couple yards there, but it's going to bring up 2nd and goal. From about the 5, I'd say.
Just keep feeding Ryan. He's going to pick you up positive yards, and you give it to him 2 times here, he'll be in the end zone.
2nd and goal. Picard gets his receivers in motion, looking to his left, a quick pass, and it's going to be caught at the end zone. Zion Brown with the touchdown, and the Rebels add to their lead, make it 23-7, and the Raiders now looking for more answers at this juncture in the football game.
That was a very nice catch. You can see, and Ethan just put some zip on this ball, and Zion goes down to get it, and a great catch. He was wide open. There was zero coverage on him. But when he went on the ground, the Raiders looked like they were in coverage, but they weren't.
Zion Brown, a huge part of this team. The team it really feels like when Zion's on his game, it's a different football team here for the Rebels. And today he's been on it, and Charlie Wiersma going to kick this ball through, make it 24-7 Rebels. So after the Raiders open this football game, it's been 24 unanswered here for the Rebels. And that has been the story of the game thus far.
Yeah, and it's just they've got to Raiders have to kind of settle down, get back to what they did in the first quarter to move the football and rely on your guys like on Bonsu and just get Sadler Smith running. But you got to find something that's going to give you some success so you can eat up some time and then come away with some touchdowns. But this could get out of hand as pretty quick, you know, because the way the teams now are talking to each other and getting each other's face, that it could turn into more of let's watch another team score than actually playing.
I think Gio Lanuzzi just pointed at the returner. He's going to kick it too. So this is, I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but looks like Gio Lanuzzi's called his shot, and he is going to kick this ball away exactly where he said he was going to put it. And going back deep into their own end zone, that's Harmon Ahuja, and he bounces off a tackle. He's going down the right sideline and has a bit of room, and he is going to be chopped down there. As that's a good tackle there by the Rebels special teams unit. As that's number 26, Ben Matai, in on the tackle. And there you see some of the traveling Raiders fans who don't have a lot to say at this juncture in the game, and they're pretty quiet on the black side of the fan base. As there you see is Ahuja bouncing off that tackle, had a bit of room, but got chopped down by the end of it.
Yeah, and a penalty on the play for one of the Raiders. He blocked back, and on kicks you're not allowed to block back towards your own goal line because then it becomes a blindside block, and that's what happened on that one. So they're going to start deep in their own zone here, and that nice return was all for naught. Between both teams, there have been a lot of penalties in this game, and that's not uncommon. Throughout the history of since 2005, the games have a lot of penalties in them.
And you can hear the Raiders sideline saying, focus on your job. Just do your job. That's all you got to do, you know. And it sounds so simple, but it's really complicated.
That's true. That is so true.
As on first down, Sadler Smith going deep for Bonsu, and that is incomplete, but flags do fly.
Yeah,
as pass interference will be the call.
Yeah, I'm definitely probably contacted on the receiver. And
as the wind howls here as we're trying to keep it all together up top here. We're making sure our structure is going to stay in place and not blow away with us here in the wind, as Aiden Battelle was the defensive back there, number 19, who was called on the pass interference. So that's going to be a free first down there for the Raiders, 15 yards. Going to move that ball up near the 25-yard line. And here is Sadler Smith on first down, looking to scramble. He's going to roll out to the right. Flags do fly, and he is just going to throw this one out of bounds, as Smith has taken a lot of punishment to this point in the game, as he's taken a lot of hits, but to his credit, he's gotten back up pretty quick every time.
Yeah, and a hold on that one there. The right tackle just grabbed the Rebels defender and just wrenched him to the ground.
And there you see in the back of the frame, Bryce Ruther just finishing his check, as you call it in hockey terms, on Sadler Smith there, who again, he's taken a beating thus far.
He has.
But to his credit, he's been up every time, and he hasn't looked worse for wear.
Yeah, now the Raiders are kind of having some problems here and getting deeper in their own end. And they could be giving the ball back to the Rebels, kicking into this wind if they don't get something positive out of this next two plays.
And And they have about 20 yards or so here to make up, maybe even more, as empty backfield set here for Sadler Smith. Going to throw this one right away to the left sideline. Going to look for some extra blocks, but not going to nearly get back. Going to still need about 13 or 14 yards here, as that's Blaze McCarty on the reception, number 14 for the Raiders, and still a long ways to go here on second down.
Yeah, and just push like the Rebels are. Just push them to the sideline. Sideline's your friend because they can't cut to the sideline. They got to cut back in the field, and if you're there, they got no escape route, and it's going to stop the play at that point.
So it's second and about 15 here. Is Sadler Smith going to have to show off that arm or some impressive legs here to get these chains moving? As on second down, going to fake the handoff, and it's going to be a screen pass, and Bryce Ruther showing off the vert. Breaks that one up himself, and the punt team going to have to come out here for the Raiders as they are unsuccessful once again.
Well, it was a good play. They were trying to set up the screen pass to the left, and Bryce just kept coming, and they say as soon as you see the quarterback's eyes, get your hands up, and he knocked the ball down. So that's going to get position here for the Rebels to be in great scoring position. Already up 24-7. They could add to their lead for a hefty lead at halftime.
And the Raiders again kicking this one directly into this howling wind we're all dealing with here in the broadcast booth. As Riker Sansbury with a squib kick. A flag was put down at the near midfield there. As that's Roman Poggi going to grab that, no yards.
That could be too many men on the Rebels.
Well, let's wait and see.
Just gotta count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, they had too many men on the field, so it's going to move it up 10 yards, which should. I think it's that.
Yeah, I counted 13 as well. Or sorry, 12.
Well, you got 12. So I'm not that sure what that flag would have been for. Because generally, if it's down in that position, that's where what it's for. Those guys count. So.
Yeah. Your math might have been better than mine, Paul.
Well, I was counting red guys, so. Yeah, I thought I counted 13, but it's taking a long time to discuss this. If it's just one, maybe there's 2 penalties on it.
Here we go, Paul, on the screen. Let's count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus the returner behind the screen. 13, so 13. Yeah. You are correct, my friend.
Okay, the other penalty was no yards. So that's going to be no yards and too many men. That's going to be probably punting over again.
That's where I wish we had the, it's going to kill me not to remember the name. Not the teleprompter, the telestrator.
Oh, yeah.
The telestrator to, count up all of the, circle them all. And
yeah, that'd be handy. Yeah.
One day we'll get it for you, Paul.
Yeah.
You can draw out all the routes and show us the coverage.
Because I'm good at drawing stickmen, I know that.
So let's see what comes out of this.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the major discussion, and there's no yards and too many men. Because the ball went out of bounds. I don't think anybody touched it.
You know what always happens and comes of this is that both penalties cancel each other out, and we just replay the down after about 10 minutes of talking, which is where this seems to be heading. Lots of confusion, lots of talking, and at the end of the day, we just replay the down. But we'll wait and see here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll get a punt again. Yeah, too many men. Okay, so the ball will move up 5 yards and they'll be punting, because they're still in about a 3rd and 14 or 3rd and 9.
So the ball will move up 5 yards. But again, the Raiders not going to risk it this deep in their own territory and just punt this ball away once again, but they are punting this into the wind. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Do they have too many again?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think so, yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, they got 12.
Okay.
That's why I was never the count.
Yes, I know.
Count coach. Who's in charge of the counting? I always kept my head down on those ones.
All right, we are back to playing football here at Starlight Stadium as it's another kick, this one high and short. Roman Poggi, number 18, has a bit of trouble with it. Going to try and roll out to the left. He does shed a tackle, tries to go up through the middle, but the Raiders special teams unit gets in on the tackle, and this ball right at the Raiders 50-yard line.
Yeah, it's a good position. You got 3 minutes to go in the first half, and a good chance here for the Rebels to add to their lead, or at the very least prevent the Raiders from creating any damage before halftime with this field position.
So the Rebels offense back out on the field. We're just passing the 3-minute mark.
Oh, you got Zion
and
Brown.
Here's a
wide
deep
open.
ball for Zion Brown, and he's got it. Number 4 into the end zone. A huge play by number 4. And the Rebels take a 3-score lead as it's just one play on that drive, and that's all it needs as they go for the deep ball and come on through.
Zion, when he came off the ball here, he just exploded past his cover, and he was wide open to make that catch. And then just the momentum plus his determination to get into the end zone with a couple Raiders on him. And very, very well designed play. Just put it in the end zone, 50 yards later, touchdown. And a 31-7 lead.
Charlie Wiersma through the uprights, an electric play seemingly out of nowhere. And now we get into this game might get out of hand territory.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that at halftime, or at least maybe this drive, the Raiders, settle it down a little bit because there's a lot of emotion going on, especially between Paul Romanoff and some of the Rebels seem to be picking on him, if you will. But they just have to get their game back on, get their game face, and just put their feet in the ground and say, okay, let's plug north-south, stay away from any of the extracurricular that's going to cost us some penalties, and see if we can get in the end zone, and then talk about it at halftime, get a break, and then come out fired up and see what we can do in the second half.
31-7 Rebels. We just had the 3-minute warning. 2:49 on the clock as Gio Lanuzzi boots this one with the wind's help deep into VI territory. And look out, as right up the middle here comes the returner.
Yeah, Savion, just a nice return.
Savion Townsend to the 35.
Another flag. I think that's against the Rebels.
And if you're the Rebels, you don't really want to give the Raiders any chance here of getting back into this game. And unforced errors are one way that can happen.
Yeah.
As
I understand. You understand penalties that happen while the play's on, but anything post-play is just uncalled for and unnecessary. And it's just one of those things that, again, it's a discipline problem with the Rebels at this point. And your record maybe doesn't indicate that because, you're feeling good because we're still playing and winning. But you get in those big games and there's huge problems.
Sadler Smith back out on the field. Ball spotted at the 45. Flags fly. And Sadler Smith going to roll out of the pocket. This might be a free play, and he's going to take a hit to make it happen. And that one, I believe, dropped on the ground, but I think it's a free play because I believe the Rebels were offside.
Yeah,
so.
Rebels were offside on that one.
That a lot of cheering for nothing. But
yeah, nice interception, though, because they are marking it as an interception. But if the penalty against the Rebels, that's going to nullify it, and the Raiders will keep the football up 5 yards.
Isaiah Boutin, number 16, was the one who came down with that football, but I didn't see the number of who it was, but it looked on the far side of the field that one of the Rebels might have jumped the line of scrimmage just anticipating the play. So Free play there for the Raiders, moves the ball up 5 yards.
Yeah, just the outside linebacker was coming on a bit of a blitz, and he was just a touch early. Definitely got in the neutral zone to be offside.
So here is 1st and 5. Sadler Smith an empty set, looking deep, and he is going to try and use his wheels to get out, but he's going to be brought down again as this Rebels defense has swarmed into the backfield.
Yeah, they're not giving him much time.
And that is Beau New Vermont, who we've brought up a couple times in this game, number 29. And he just sheds his tackle and gets to Sadler, who really hasn't been able to show what he's capable of to this point in the game.
Yeah, he hasn't had much time. And again, they've had no success really through the air and or on the ground. And sometimes you try to manufacture things on your own, and being a team game, that's very difficult.
There is Will Bromelo on another sack, and this Raiders O-line has no answer right now.
Yeah, they're being outmanned, out quick. Everything is up against the Raiders' offensive line, and they're a difficult time handling the Rebels' defensive line. And an opportunity here with still 2 minutes to go in the half, and they're punting from their own 34-yard line. The Rebels are going to have tremendous field position, and they could add to this lead, and this game could be well in Rebels' hands by halftime.
This is Riker Sansbury, number 21, to kick this ball away for the Raiders, and he is going to kick this one just past the 50-yard line here for the Raiders. So the Rebels going to be set up in great field position once again. Last drive, it took one play to find the end zone. Let's see what this drive has in store for the Rebels.
You might see that happen again. You might see the Rebels come out and try that same thing, and because with success with it, because right now the Raiders can't cover the Kwame or Zion, so you might see Ethan say, okay, let's do that again. And
so here comes Ethan Picard in the offense in Raider territory, and he is looking deep right away for Lyndon Williams, and he is into double coverage and incomplete.
Well, he looked at Zion to start with, and then he went back to his right, but he threw it into double coverage and incomplete pass. But clock stops, gives them second down, opportunity to pick up some yards here. So plenty of time, 1:37. And it's one of those ones that try to take advantage of it if you can. Come away with some points before halftime.
Marcus Harvey and Nate Haliuk in coverage there for the Raiders. As now on 2nd and 10, Picard going to throw wide, and Kai Nickel has it for the catch, and that is a gain of 20. And hold on here, behind the play, we have some words being exchanged, flags on the ground, and let's see where this goes.
Yeah, it's getting a little feisty down there. It's I'm not sure against the Raiders.
But, I mean, first and foremost, a great ball there by Ethan Picard to Kai Nickel as he threw it on the dot there for number 27.
Yeah, it was a nice route. It was a little like a banana to the outside, but, yeah, Ethan put it where it had to be. It looks like the ball's moving up here, so there's penalty must have been against the Raiders. Again, penalties.
So that backs up the Rebels near where they were to start that play.
But first down.
But it's still a first down, as that was Kamari Barney who was given that penalty, number 77 on the O-line. And now the Rebels going to have to make something happen again as Picard, pocket shrinking, throwing to the left side, and that is between both Zion Brown and Kai Nickel, incomplete.
Yeah, some mix up there. They had 3 receivers in the same area, so somebody missed the call or 2 players missed the call. Plenty of time.
Tristan Ramos-Aravallo also in the vicinity, but just an errant ball and no harm, no foul. 2nd and 10 here. We haven't seen a lot of Ryan Vincent in a while. Looks like he's going to block here. Is Picard going to throw for Tristan Ramus Aravallo, and that's a gain of about 8, maybe 9, but that's going to make it decision time here for the Rebels, as it's not enough to move the chains. And looks like the Rebels offense going to stay out here on 3rd down.
Yeah, Mark he gambles a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised because right now they've got the momentum too. They're not playing with the Raiders, toying with them, but every time they touch the football, they're having success.
So 3rd and 1. Picard under center. Could we see a sneak? Yes, we will. And that one is going to be close, as Picard went right into the scrum there. And we'll have to see where this ball is spotted to see if it's going to be a turnover on downs or if we're going to move the chains for a 1st down.
Boy, you might see them measure here, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh, maybe not. I thought the official was running over there to get the chains.
And 1st down, Rebels is the call. So the chains will move here. And the offense will stay out. 1:17 on the game clock here. So another chance to just pile onto this lead here, as it's been all Rebels since the early stages of this game. And still 2 timeouts to work with here for the Rebels, as Picard, pocket shrinking, throws to Kai Nickel. That is complete, and he takes a big hit right at the end of that play. And that's a gain of about 5, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, just a stop pattern, catch the football. Again, positive plays.
And there you see the late hit there, as that's Nate Haliuk, as Picard to Zion Brown, and he is going to be thrown out of bounds right near the 1st down marker, but it looks like that's going to move the chains, as Zion Brown, a good job of changing direction there on the catch, and that's going to move the chains once again.
Yeah, 59 seconds to go, and they're definitely in field goal range at this point, but there's plenty of time to get a few plays in.
Clock starts. Picard takes the snap, looking deep right side, and Kwame Franklin with a great possession catch with the defender draped all over him, number 11, using his size, and makes a great catch.
Yeah, he put his back to the defender, and he's able to catch it in his hands. Normally you'll see guys try to make a basket catch or something like that, but he caught it in his hands, so he's definitely got strong hands and been working on that part of his game for sure.
Here is Picard looking end zone. Zion Brown drops it, however. That's an uncharacteristic drop on 1st and goal, and that's going to make it 2nd and goal, 43 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, it looked like he was spinning around. He caught it, it was in the air, and he was trying to spin with it. And I guess, sometimes you take your eye off the ball to see what defenders around you, and just couldn't squeeze it.
That's the egg before the chicken, I think. There's a saying that goes along there.
Yes, yep.
As Picard going to hand this one off to Ryan Vincent. He's got some room up the middle, and he is in for the score, as Ryan Vincent with his 3rd touchdown of the half, as number 34. We were just saying we hadn't called his name in a while, but he comes back in a big way and puts up another 6 on the board here for Westshore.
Yeah, he hit the hole, and he not much there. Then he said, I'm going to keep going, and turned his back and got some help from a push from behind a bit and into the end zone.
The extra point looming, but it is now a 30-point lead here for the Rebels, who got off to a slow start, but once they found that gear, they haven't looked back.
Yeah, and I think for the Raiders, it's a little bit of shell shock, and because they came out feeling pretty good about themselves when that first time they had the football, but ever since then it's been downhill. They've had 0 success offensively, and with the 38 points, they're struggling to stop the Rebels' offense.
There you see Cody McMahon, number 7 on the Rebels, one of the senior players on this team, not in the lineup, and luckily his D-line brothers have really picked up the slack for him, and he'll be a big part of this team going down the stretch. But credit to Ted Wyndham Jr., some of the other veteran defensive players who have been huge in this game so far.
Well, everybody's on the team is the team, and you got to pull for each other. You got to help each other out, and when your turn comes up, you got to take advantage of it. And that's one of the biggest things that football does, because it's the ultimate team sport, that you have to rely on your brotherhood, if you will, to help fill gaps.
So Gio Lanuzzi gonna kick this ball away. It's a booming kick, and that's Ahuja, number 2, gonna try down the right sideline. Actually gets a couple blocks before being buried there by Will Bromelo, as Harmon Ahuja on the good return, as that's gonna spot the ball near the 35 here. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, the Raiders gonna be in the hurry up offense to just see if they can get the ball downfield, and if not, you tuck and run this clock.
Yeah, that absolutely. Might see them just keep the ball on the ground here to get into halftime. Chance to sit down and get out of the wind. Have a little snack and talk about the second half, of what we're going to do. Get back in this. Try to get back in this game.
Clock running. Sadler Smith with 2 running backs. And he's going to throw this one on first down, as he's going to scramble out of the pocket. And he's got some defenders coming, and takes another big hit as Cole Bunting wrapped him up. And that's Beauvremont, number 29, again on the big tackle. And Sadler Smith has, again, just taken a beating here in this first half by scrambling out of the pocket, and that's another big hit.
Yeah, he's taken a lot of unnecessary hits, and throughout a game that takes its toll. As a quarterback, you start to get happy feet, and you're not really set to throw, and you bail out a little bit too quick.
Sadler Smith looking to throw again on second down, and that's
Beautiful.
a close
Yes.
call. And it looks like they're going to give him the catch there, as that was McCarty there, as the ball was right on the ground. We're not going to have time to see a replay on it, but that was awfully close. And that is going to move the chains now. 1st and 10 at the 50, 8 seconds on the clock. And here they go. They are going to use all of this time, and they're going to look deep here as Smith going to throw to Romanoff, but he drops it incomplete, as Paul Romanoff doesn't quite get it, and he is getting a earful here from the Rebels defenders. I don't know what was said between Romanoff and this Rebels team, but they have had it out for him all game long. And that was Denis Moses, who has 2 interceptions on the tackle there. But that is going to spell the end of our first half, and what a tale of really the first and second quarter, as the Rebels down early, couldn't find their gear. But 38 unanswered points sees the Rebels up 38-7 after one half of play. It's been a fun half here at Starlight Stadium. Paul, you and I are going to go for some hot chocolate, get warm, and come back here for the second half. We hope you're enjoying from the warm and comfort of your homes here on BCFC TV or Telus Optic. It's the Rebels 38, Raiders 7, and we'll have second half coverage for you after these messages. Stay with us.
Yeah, my name's Harold Skadberg. I am co-owner of Viking Properties, formerly Pacific Coast Land.
My name is Jan Egil Gulbrandsen. I'm a co-owner and partner with Harold in Viking Properties.
We're fortunate enough to have Ben taking over more and more for us. He's been working with me for probably 4 or 5 years now, and the company is in good hands.
My name is Ben Gulbrandsen. I'm the president of Pacific Viking Group Properties. So what we try to do is really provide the most square footage possible within people's price range and a very neutral palette so that people can come in and make their own mark on their own home.
Where are we going? Show me around. Tip of our fingers, well, I never found all of the places we'll go where we are. Doors shut and open, well, life's never far behind. All these places are known to me. All these things that we'll see when we go.
I'm Cody McMahon. I'm from Mission, BC.
Hey, I'm Ethan Picard. I'm from Cork, Alberta.
Hey, I'm Kwame Franklin. I'm from Cohaba, Nova Scotia.
Hi guys, I'm John Anderson from Port Alberni, BC.
I'm Zion Brown from East Preston, Nova Scotia.
Hi, my name's Lorenzo Altabelli. I'm from São Paulo, Brazil.
Hi, this is Fermi Okololo. I'm from London, UK, and this is Know Your Rebels.
What's your favorite snack food? Snack food, I'm pretty boring. I'll just put some chicken thighs in the air fryer and that's about it.
I think snack food, I just have to go with, I'm not a big snack guy, like lasagna, that's my snack food.
It's gotta be paçoquinhas. In Brazil, we have these peanut, they're kind of like Reese Cups, but not too sweet. They're less sweet than Reese Cups, so it's gotta be paçoquinhas.
I'm already a snack guy, but in Canada, you guys got these Doritos sweet chilies. I love those, the black pack.
Chocolate, I'm a big chocolate guy. I mean, put chocolate on anything, I might eat it.
What's your favorite chocolate of the bunch?
Probably Hershey's.
I get made fun of this for a lot, but I really like chocolate covered jujubes.
What?
Yeah, it's an alignment thing, but you know, just good choice.
They recently got the those like cheese balls, those ones from Toy Story. They recently started selling those out in Walmart. Bought a couple boxes of those. Those are nice.
Look, I'm Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
We're all looking for it. A place to reignite your soul and to awaken your inner child. To leave feeling awestruck, not because of the destination, but because of the journey itself. Take a deep breath and smell the freshness of the air. Listen to nature's music. Look out onto the vast horizon. Indulge in locally foraged food. Feel the warmth of the sun and the coolness of the ocean. Let your senses come alive.
Look out, Karen Basad. Got it.
Pickup who passes there to Jesse King, who scores again.
At Westshore Motorsports Park.
Cross in the box for Parmar, and she's done it.
My name's Harold Skadberg. I am co-owner of Viking Properties, formerly Pacific Coast Land. We decided to change the name to more reflect our heritage.
My name is Jan-Egil Gulbrandsen. I'm a co-owner and partner with Harold in Viking Properties.
John and I have been partners since 1986.
In the old days, we bought lots and built houses and sold them, and we mostly build condo buildings now instead of single-family homes.
John and I go back to Norway quite a bit, getting ideas from there how to do things better. We're using solar panel on the roofs and electric car chargers. And more people are driving electric, and we want to be prepared for the future and promote some healthy and environment-friendly options. And people seem to like that. We're fortunate enough to have Ben taking over more and more for us. He's been working with me for probably 4 or 5 years now, and the company is in good hands.
My name is Ben Gulbrandsen. I'm the president of Pacific Viking Group Properties. So I used to frame for Harold 20 years ago when I was just out of college. I became a lawyer down in California, and I was looking at my next step in my career, and I just took over as the president last year. And we have plans to expand what we've been doing by fourfold in the next couple years.
And now we're building very close to the downtown core of Langford, and we got mountains, we got snow, we got forest. Everything is in walking distance, basically. So you get a whole lot more for your money in Langford.
It's several years now been deemed or voted the best place in Canada to live. With all that, people are working from home and they're finding it kind of crowded in a lot of places, so we're trying to offer larger units for them.
And so what we try to do is really provide the most square footage possible within people's price range in a very neutral palette so that people can come in and make their own mark on their own home.
Yeah, my name's Harold Skadberg. I am co-owner of Viking Properties, formerly Pacific Coast Land.
My name is Jan-Egil Gulbrandsen. I'm a co-owner and partner with Harold in Viking Properties.
We're fortunate enough to have Ben taking over more and more for us. He's been working with me for probably 4 or 5 years now, and the company is in good hands.
My name is Ben Gulbrandsen. I'm the president of Pacific Viking Group Properties. So what we try to do is really provide the most square footage possible within people's price range in a very neutral palette so that people can come in and make their own mark on their own home.
Where are we going? Show me around.
And we are back for second half coverage here at Starlight Stadium as the Rebels kick this one away. And that is Savian Townsend on the return. Not a lot to speak of there as the special teams unit does its job. And the Raiders probably had a lot to talk about in that first half break there, Paul.
Absolutely. And it more or less just to settle down, just let's try to get back into this game. Don't do anything stupid that could cost you a game suspension or something because, you're playing the battle of the rock. But, just, collect yourself, put together a plan that we were talking about, saying, Sadler Smith is a good runner like he had on that play there, but eventually your quarterback taking a lot of hits in a game, it really wears them down. And
so that was Bryce Ruther in on the tackle there. It looked like a bit of a broken play there by Smith. He didn't really know where to go with that football, took a big hit, and he's still, again, trying his best out there, but again, taking a lot of punishment here. Is now at 2nd and 5, and Smith looks like he lost the ball, and looks like he maybe spiked the throw is what happened there, but if it went backwards, it could have been a free ball, but looks like it's going to be ruled down. So now the punt team back out for the Raiders.
Yeah, incomplete pass. I guess his arm was moving forward when he lost control of the football, so that would be considered a pass. Yeah, but Sadler was 8 of 15 for only 53 yards in the first half, and Ethan was 15 of 24 for 205 and 2 touchdowns. The big one that jumped out to me, I get the stats from Heather Foster, the BCFC head statistician. She's doing the game this evening, but the Rebels had 14 penalties for 150 yards in the first half, and that's a lot.
That kick is a sky-high kick, and the Rebels lose this football, and the Raiders are going to take over, as that is a big play for the Raiders to come out of the tunnel and get the turnover there. And the VI Raiders still with the chance to be in this football game here, so we'll see what they can do with this new life.
Yeah, it was just, again, the ball got held up by the wind, and it was pushed away from the return man of the Rebels, and Raiders, because it was held up in the wind, their cover team was right on top of it to collect that football or recover the ball. But again, the Raiders really haven't done anything since that opening drive, and this is an opportunity. They're back in Rebels territory here, but that was a nice catch.
That is Ruben Bonsu showing off the hops, and we haven't seen a lot of number 8 minus that touchdown in the first quarter, but that is just a glimpse of what number 8 can do on the football field.
He's an elite receiver. He's one of the top receivers in the BCFC, and it's the combination of him and Smith. They could do a lot of damage, but there's a lot of other little areas within the offensive part of their team that needs fixing. And the O-line, they got to work a bit more together, and they got to try to find a run game, something to complement the pass.
It looks like a false start call on the Raiders, and that's going to back them up 5 yards. So that's a tough play there. After a little bit of momentum there by Ruben Bonsu's reception, and that's going to back them up again.
Yeah, little things like that. Again, it takes you out of the momentum away a little bit, and now you're in a 2nd down and 15 instead of 2nd and 10, and you definitely have to throw the football.
And we'll wait and see what this stoppage is for. Looks like the officials just trying to get on the same page here. So it's 1st and 15. And the Raiders, empty backfield set here. Sadler Smith going to roll out of the pocket right away. He's got defenders coming down. Here's the throw, and nearly intercepted, as that was into a lot of coverage there on the right side of the field. And that would have been Aiden Bytel that just slipped in out of the fingers of number 19.
Yeah, it was a nice play. He jumped on the football and just couldn't get his full grip on it. But it's a batted ball for him, and it brings up a 3rd down, and it looks like the Raiders are going to say, well, let's do what we can to try to get back into this football game by going here on 3rd down. And
hate to correct you, Paul, because I never like to correct you, but it's 2nd and 15.
It is 2nd down. Yeah,
so
I'm sorry.
Here is the throw, and that one just an errant pass as they try and throw it by Tell again. Now it's 3rd and 15.
Now it's
Paul,
3rd down.
and
Yeah, I saw when they moved the on the offside penalty, it had flipped the 2nd down, and I'm thinking, okay, so it's now. So now I'm caught up. Thank you.
You're always so on it, Paul, that I have to do it when I get the chance.
That's
usually
okay.
you're holding me accountable, not the other way around. So a tough set here, and I'm telling you, the punt team having a big, long talk about this makes me think maybe there's something at play here.
Yeah,
so
boy.
Could the Raiders be trying something sneaky here? As here's the snap, and yes, indeed, they are trying something sneaky, and that's a big hit there, and the Rebels defense gave them a few yards there, but that's a turnover on downs. As the Raiders just trying anything, I guess, at this point in the football game, but that was not nearly enough to move the chains.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things that, you try to pull out everything that you've ever practiced to try to get yourself, some momentum going and stay in this game. But what that does as well is that formation they showed on the punt that against next week's opponent, against the Langley Rams, who the Raiders play, they have to honor that now. And it's something, they might take some time out of the regular practice, what they would normally practice, to go over those type of plays.
Ethan Picard, and he is going to be picked off on the first play of the drive. Wow, that was a quick turnaround, as that's Phil Toscano with the INT. And I was just going to say, I was surprised that maybe even Ethan Picard's still in the game. And that's an unfortunate error there by the Rebels, and they turned the ball right back over.
Yeah, to me, when I saw it live, it was like a nonchalant pass. But I see on the replay that the receiver wasn't ready and the ball was overthrown. Again, the wind might have had a little bit to do with it, but yeah, they just didn't seem to be as focused in on that as they had been in their previous drives with the success of scoring.
Haven't seen Ethan Picard throw an errant throw like that in a while, but new life here for the Raiders as they take over. And Smith with an empty backfield set, looking for the slip screen pass, but that one not on the target there, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
That might have just been where he was thinking he didn't want to get hit anymore, and he released the ball as he was backing up in the air, and he couldn't get any zip on it. But the play was well set up. They had the lineman out in front, and the running back Owen was out there, just waiting for it, but it was just thrown into the ground.
So Smith in the pistol, empty backfield set, and he's going to throw this one, and it is going to be caught. So good job there, but not quite enough to move the chains. Is on the reception. That's Silas Gardner, number 15. So it's going to be 3rd down and about 4, maybe 3.
Yeah, they're going to
looks like the offense is going to stay on the field here, and you kind of have to. You have to have some successful drives here at this point in the football game if you want to get back into it. And now is the time for the VI Raiders as Sadler Smith has everyone in motion. Empty backfield set, and he is going to throw, and it is caught, as they're going to say Ruben Bonsu came down with it. And that was a close play there, as Bonsu was off-kiltered as he made that catch. We'll have to see what the call is, but could also need a measure, as this is awfully close. I don't know if that's going to be enough for a first down.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close. No, they're going to say it's first down.
Interesting call there, but that's going to move the chains. Didn't think that had the legs, but Ruben Bonsu extends the drive. And this drive will continue as Sadler Smith looking to throw once again. Pocket decreasing. He's going to throw it out of bounds there, as Smith just didn't see anyone coming. Pocket collapsing, rolled out and got rid of the ball.
Yeah, just nobody open, and a good rush by the Rebels again, putting pressure on them. But I agree with you. I think that, like with Ethan in the game, and even with Smith still in the game, good chance in a game that is like this to get the second stringers in, to give them some, real playing time with real rush. And I'd be curious to see if they are going to be making any changes.
And more confusion here from the Raiders, forced to use their first timeout here in the second half. As didn't look like Sadler Smith and the offense were on the same page there. And as you can probably hear, the wind rolling back in here. And it's much worse. We're about, I don't know, what do you say, 20 feet elevated here?
Oh, we're at least 150 at least. Man, while you look down.
We're about 25 feet here, and our poor main camera operator, Hamish, is about another 25, 50 feet above us. And it's not as windy on the field, but where we are, we're just right in the thick of the wind here. So, again, thank you for putting up with the wind noise here. If you're watching at home with your Dolby surround sound system and your ears are getting blown out by the wind, we apologize. But we're doing our best up here in the broadcast booth. We haven't quite upgraded to the mobile unit like the NFL has quite yet.
Yeah, that's true.
And there you can see us.
Almost, though.
Chris Wilson stoically in the camera, making sure that we're getting the shots here at Starlight Stadium. We thank you for tuning in here. As on 2nd and 10, it is Sadler Smith going to throw this again. That's caught by McCarty, brought down very quickly by Isaiah Boutin. And that is going to be a short gain. And it's once again gamble time here for the Raiders, and you got to think they're going to go for it.
Yeah, just across her in front of the linebackers and hoping that you're going to put a move on to pick up the first down. It picked up about 6, but again, a 3rd down gamble and trying to keep their hands on the football here.
So 3rd and 4. And the Raiders needing another 3rd down conversion to keep this drive alive. They're going to spread out the offense. And Smith going to throw this one. He's looking for McCarty right away, and that one touches the ground, incomplete, and a turnover on downs.
Yeah, that's about I think it's the fifth or sixth turnover the Raiders have committed today, and that doesn't help you. But again, you got to go for it. You kick a field goal, you're still down by a bunch, and you get ball back to the Rebels, and they eat up more time, so it's hard to get back into this game. But it's a chance also for the Raiders the rest of the way is to prepare for the next game. Next week's over in Langley against the Rams, who won tonight, so it's something that you can work on some good positive things. And
hold on here. Are the VI Raiders going to get a call for the house? They are, as into the end zone for a touchdown. That's Savian Townsend. As that was a 50-50 ball. Both the Rebels receiver and Townsend had a hand on it, but the strength of number 11 on the Raiders causes the pick 6. And is that 2 throws, 2 picks there for Ethan Picard? As you can see,
yeah, he just picked it up.
Tristan Ramos-Aravallo couldn't hold on to it, and that is a house call, and the Raiders tack 6 on the board.
Yeah, he ripped it out of his hands and almost dropped it himself, but his quick hands was able to recover it. And he was on his way into the end zone with I don't know if they're going to call it an interception or a fumble return, but it still counts as 6 points.
Here is the extra point, nearly blocked, but that is going to go through. So make it 38-14 here in the 3rd quarter, and the Raiders getting some much-needed points in the Rebels sideline. There's one message right now, and it is focus up.
Yeah, stay away from the penalties and just concentrate, absolutely.
So here comes the Rebels back out on the field, and it looks like the Raiders going to kick this one. And we're not out of the woods yet.
Oh no,
still
not
a
at all.
lot of football to be played here, and the Rebels, if they nap, there is still a chance for this Raiders team to make this a football game.
And I wonder if you can see the Raiders try an onside kick here. Again, an opportunity in a real game situation to practice some of this stuff. And
we'll see what they do. They do have a different kicker out there than who they've had all game, as that is Sterling Henry. And it looks like, Paul, you might be onto something here. He's looking a lot to that left sideline, and here it is. It's a short boot into there, and the hands team by the Rebels does a good job, as that's Max Teradash who gets on the ball and ensures it's going to be Rebels football. The Raiders, somebody got tackled or pushed after the play. They were calling for a flag of unnecessary roughness. You might be able to see it here as Teradash comes down on it, and there's the extra push there. And Gio Lanuzzi's been involved in a lot of stuff in this football game, and there's number 2 again. As it seems like him and Paul Romanoff, number 3 on the Raiders, have kind of been the instigators, if you will, of some of the nastiness of this game.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a penalty on the play here. I think it was offside on the kickoff by the Raiders. So,
don't fly away, Paul.
Wow, that was a gust of wind.
Our monitor fell over up here. The gusts were so strong. We're doing the best we can up here. We're braving the elements up here. This reminds me, you weren't in the booth with me for the Canadian Bowl game, but that was this times 100.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was a very wet and windy game.
Here is Ryan Vincent on the handoff, and he is going to keep pushing as he's got 4 Raiders on him there. That's a gain of about 5, as we haven't seen Ryan Vincent in a while. And when you throw 2 picks off of 2 plays, might be not a bad idea to hand it off for a couple, and Ryan Vincent gets him a few yards with the tough sledding up the middle.
Yeah, just a straight run up the middle. Just get what you can get, and Ryan just gives you positive yards all the time.
Here's Vincent again, and this time he's going to be stuffed prior to getting the first down marker. So it's going to be decision time here for the Rebels. Do you gamble? We know that Mark Townsend isn't a stranger to a good gamble, and it looks like the offense is going to stay out here for 3rd down.
Now you got the win. I think I'd be punting the ball. Now they're going to wait here. Well, I guess they're going. Kind of surprised at that.
And looks like a timeout might be called here. No. Getting the signs from the sideline. They're going to run a play here, but they're going to have to do it fast before they get a delay of game penalty and back them up. So here they go. Referee's eyeing up the clock. Picard takes the snap, hands it off, and it's going to be Ryan Vincent for a 3rd time. And he is going to get there, doing some tough sledding down the left side is Ryan Vincent doing his job, getting the first down.
Yeah, again, just hit the hole and get your shoulders square and keep your feet going. And he brings the load. He's got some quickness, but he's really, really strong running back. And you've got to wrap him up and hold on to put him on the ground.
Again, Ryan Vincent on the practice squad for most of last year's Cullen Cup team, and he's really shown what he can do this year. As here's a jet sweep play, and it's Tristan Ramos-Aravallo making a couple cuts, keeping the feet moving, but ultimately brought down after a gain of about 6. And Tristan Ramos-Aravallo had a lightning fast quarter there in the second, where he was the number 1 receiver there for 4 plays, marched down the field, got the score, and he's been a big piece of this offense so far.
Yeah, he's had a very well played game, but the Rebels offense, as soon as they got over the first part of the game jitters, and another good pass at Zion, but they kind of settled in and they just started doing what they do right. And similar to how they played, I saw the bit of the game last week against the Valley, and that's how they played against the Valley. They just settled in and just had Vincent going and spreading the ball around through the air, and they came away with a good win, and they're doing the same thing tonight.
Zion Brown moving the sticks, showed off the hands there, making that off-balance catch, and that change of direction in real time, these guys make it look so easy, but that is not an easy catch by any means there. So that moves the chains, and Ethan Picard looking to the right immediately and nearly intercepted, as that was Kaya Saunders in coverage. He had a read on that route and nearly picked it off. And if you're Ethan Picard, you cannot give up a 3rd interception in 3 drives.
No, and you got to give credit to Saunders, because he's just been on the field and he's been doing his job, and he's got such a good nose for the football that he's always going to be around those type of plays.
Here's Picard, and he is going to slide down after a gain of about 5, but not enough for the first down. So it's going to bring up either the field goal unit because they are in field goal range here. It'd be set up around a 30-yard kick. Or are they going to go for it here on 3rd and 6 deep in Raider territory?
Well, they're going to try the field goal.
Looks like the field goal unit onto the field here. So just looking to kick some extra points, get into the 40s here. Midway through this 3rd quarter. As Charlie Wiersma has hit them from this range before.
Yeah, just, a 31-yard attempt here, and he's already hit one tonight.
Ooh, bad snap. Zion Brown trying to do something with it now. He is just going to take it himself, and he is going to be brought down just past the 30, and that's a bad snap, and credit to Zion Brown trying to make something happen with it, but unfortunately just a lapse, and the Rebels going to get no points on this drive.
Well, it kind of, the way that Zion picked the ball up and Wiersma went to block, that might have been a design play. It was just maybe a bad snap. Like they were going to fake that and throw a pass off of it, but because it looked like he had time once he got could have had the ball on the ground on the field goal try.
So Sadler Smith back out on the field here, and it's going to be Paul Romanoff. He is going to be brought down as Bryce Ruther in on the stop immediately, as 39 in red had a beat on that play, and that is a huge loss for the Raiders.
Yeah, he just came zipping through there and made that tackle, and he's a lot of tackles tonight. The Rebels have made behind the line of scrimmage, and that's demoralizing.
So 2nd and 15 after the loss. Sadler Smith going to have to air it out here to get a first down. And he's going to look to do so with an empty backfield set, looking left and right, nowhere to go, going to scramble. Here comes the pressure. Cole Bunting right there, and he is going to be hammered by Ted Wyndham Jr. and company. And that is another hit from Sadler Smith, and this time he might not be 100% after that.
Yeah, he got up and he's holding his right shoulder a little bit, the upper part. He landed on it pretty hard. You know, again, the Rebels have been putting pressure on him all night, and it takes its toll. And that might be his ticket to say sit down for the rest of this game. Coach Rosky might be making that change.
Here is the punt team here for the Raiders. A pretty good punt, but it's going to stay in Raider territory as Chris McClarty, this is his first touch of the football game, and there are flags flying left, right, and center. Chris McClarty going to go down the sidelines, out of bounds around the 30, but who knows where this ball will be spotted after all these flags are sorted.
Yeah, I think it's definitely legal block by the Rebels, but that was a really nice return, and I think it's the first time tonight Chris has touched the ball on a punt return.
So we'll wait and see the official's decision. But if that is Sadler Smith's last throw of this game, I mean, there was a lot of talk. I mean, he's led the league in passing touchdowns, and credit to the Rebels defense as I can't use a word other than bully. They really got to him quickly, and he had no room to really operate today.
Yeah, and just, he never really had the time to operate, no room at all, and they couldn't get anything going. They couldn't get a run game going. They couldn't get their pass game going. Bonsu's caught a few passes, made some nice plays, but they didn't get the rhythm as they had in the past. And so hopefully he's not hurt. He's an athlete I'd really like to see when he's in his prime and on fire.
Here's a throw on first down for Zion Brown on the out route, but that one inaccurate and incomplete. Kaya Saunders seems to be the defensive back that is now being glued to Zion Brown, and did a good job there and made sure that there was no completion to be had.
Yeah, and that was a pretty quick pass too. It came out hot, and Zion just wasn't in position to get his hands on it.
So 2nd and 10, Picard gonna do the jet sweep here for Lyndon Williams. He's got the outside edge, and that's gonna be close. That might be a 3rd and inches play as Lyndon Williams ever so close to that first down marker. Let's see where this ball is spotted, but I believe it's gonna be 3rd and inches.
Yeah, it looks like it's just short, so you're gonna see, obviously they're gonna go for this. And That was a nice play. It hit really, really fast, this play, and Williams got to the edge and just a nice tackle by the Raiders defender prevented them getting the first down, but close enough for a gamble.
3rd and inches. Could we see the quarterback sneak here from Picard, as he will go under center in the I formation. And the ball snap, quarterback sneak, and Picard has more than enough there for the first down marker. So they will move the chains here as Zion Brown exchanging some pushing and shoving, which I'm sure we'll see a hefty amount of down the stretch of this football game, but that will move the chains, and that's another Rebels first down.
Yeah, and that's what they've been doing. They've just been moving the ball and hanging on to the football as well.
As there you see Zion Brown and number 11. That's Savian Townsend, who had the pick 6 earlier in this quarter. And on 1st and 10, it's going to be a reverse jet sweep this time to Lyndon Williams once again. And he is going to be picked up and carried down. That's an interesting way of tackling I've never seen before. But that's about a gain of 9, maybe 10. I thought we were going to see a WWE spine buster there for a moment, as that's where that looked like that was going. But luckily he was put down gently. And that's going to move the chains, another Rebels first down.
Yeah, and just again holding on to the football, and time's ticking away, and the more you hold on to the football, you're not letting the other guys into it. And yeah, he got up off the ground there, so they just kept holding him up. It was kind of like I say, waiting for somebody to body slam him. But
there is Savian Townsend getting there early. The first time we've seen Ryan Vincent really stuffed behind the line, and that they maybe got back to the line of scrimmage there. Good play by the Raiders D there.
Yeah, he got in the backfield pretty quick, and he's happy with that tackle.
So 2nd and 10. Picard going to scoop this one out to John Boubard, and he isn't going to get back to the line either, as the Raiders defense making a bit of a stand here in the 3rd quarter, as the Rebels offense could go scoreless here in the 3rd.
Yeah, that would be, really they haven't, it hasn't been urgent like it was in the 1st quarter. They had to get back into the game, and they've got a nice lead here, and they just have to hold on to the football to get the 2 points. But you got to try to get some continuity as well. You play the Raiders again in 2 weeks after the Rebels have another bye next weekend, and you got the back-to-back, second game of 3.
Charlie Wiersma boots this one away, and again with the win, so pretty good yardage there. And the Raiders going to try and return this, but the special teams unit getting in on the tackle, as that was Ron Lyle on the return there for the Raiders. Not much to speak of. And Paul, with these teams meeting again in such short time, is there a point of not tipping your hand, of not showing everything you got maybe at this juncture in the football game, maybe saving some of those weapons up your sleeve for the 2 weeks' time when these teams meet again?
Oh, absolutely. And I think and that's why it's a little bit of a feisty game as well. You want to try to set the standard, if you will, that we're not going to be pushed around, and we can beat you guys, and that type of attitude. And because it is difficult to beat somebody twice, and especially in a rivalry game, and and then they play again near the end of the year. I think it's the last game the Rebels play at home against the Raiders again here, and it's hard to beat somebody 3 times. That's why it's difficult if you meet somebody 3 times, including a playoff. It's very, very difficult to knock somebody off 3 times in a row. But yeah, it's a statement game. You're going to say, okay, we beat you guys down here. Now we're going to go into your house and we're going to beat you up there. And the Raiders will be doing everything they can to prevent that from happening.
Sadler Smith with tons of pressure is just going to get rid of this one. And that is going to bring up 3rd down, and that looks like the Raiders going to punt this one away.
Yep.
Change of quarter. Sorry. I saw them going all the other way, and I was going, what the heck? But that is going to be the end of the 3rd quarter, so kudos to the Raiders defense. They hold the Rebels scoreless and also tack on a pick 6, so make it 38-14 after 3 quarters. And Still got a little bit of a football game here. If the Raiders can get a score on this drive, it makes things a little interesting here down the stretch.
Yeah, and again, success for the Raiders is to move the football because, again, you're playing them in 2 weeks and they have a game next week, so you have to have some momentum moving forward and you have some positive things that you can build upon for the game against the Rams next week. But for the Raiders against the Rebels, it's always a big game. When the Raiders organization was granted a franchise in 2005, there was immediate hatred between these two organizations, and I'd love to see them, like I said earlier during the intro, that if they could work together and just make sure that they build the game of football on Vancouver Island and make it strong.
And there's the pick six there on the replay by Townsend, and that's been the only score through the third quarter, pardon me. And we'll see what the fourth quarter has in store here as the Raiders kicking this ball away. And now they have the wind with them, so this one going to be spotted near midfield, and it's Chris McClarty, number 21. Going to look right up the middle, but not much to speak of there, as that is number 97, Braden Torrenbert, on the tackle. And the Rebels offense going to take over here after, again, being a little slow here in the second half.
Yeah, just you might see Ethan's coming back in at quarterback, but you might see the Rebels hit this part of the game, slow it down a little bit as well. They've been doing a lot of hurry-up offense, and you don't want to get anybody hurt, obviously, moving forward. But Coach Townsend also he likes to put daggers in, and he'll keep working as hard as he can. And that was a very nice catch.
Kai Nickel on the reception, as that into double coverage, but a great job there by number 27 to beat the coverage. And that's going to move the Sticks in a big way as they are now inching closer to the red zone.
Yeah, he just threw that in between two guys, and he went up and got that football and secured it and still picked up a few more yards, and another first down for the Rebels.
So it is 1st and 10 near the 30. Picard has Ryan Vincent in the backfield, and looks like a little bit of an awkward handoff, and Vincent takes a big hit there after a gain of about 5. Looks like Vincent's going to be all right, but could have gotten a bit more yardage, but a weird handoff there makes it 2nd and 5.
Yeah, it looked like it was like Picard wanted to pull it out, and Ryan just held on to it, and he fed him through into the line, and it was, kind of a weird-looking play the way it's set up. But positive yards, another 3-yard gain.
Here is Picard with lots of pressure. It's a screen pass here for Ryan Vincent. Going to try and use his speed, but a great job tackle there, as that is none other than Colton Finstad, one of the tackling leaders in the BCFC, showing off the wheels and getting to Ryan Vincent, which is no easy task.
That was a really nice tackle, and he stayed with him. You can see on the replays he makes a tackle. Finstad just comes from the inside out and just makes a sure tackle, limiting the gain to about a yard, and puts the Rebels in a 3rd down gamble here.
Here is Picard on the run, and it is going to be caught. That's Lyndon Williams down the sideline, moving the chains, and the 3rd down gamble pays off as the Rebels march into the red zone and have a chance to restore their big lead.
Yeah, Picard got on the rollout here, and as he threw that, he led Lyndon right to the sideline, and he made a nice catch, just a beautiful catch, just before he went out of bounds.
Great shot. Joseph on the field following that ball all the way through. Here's a throw on 1st down. Kai Nickel fights through the contact to hold on to that one. Gain of 5. Call it 2nd and 10 near the goal line.
I might see Vincent on this one here because he hasn't had touched the ball in a couple 3 plays and get them close enough to gamble on 3rd down.
Said 2nd and 10, call it 2nd and 5 here. Not quite at the goal line here. As Picard, he is going to throw this one on 2nd. It's to Ryan Vincent. Does he have another touchdown? Yes, he does. Have yourself a day, Ryan Vincent. Touchdown, Rebels.
I believe that's number 4 for him. Yeah, that's a good evening. A very good night.
There you see on the replay, he's done it on the ground, and now he does it through the air. Number 34 with number 4 on the day. And looming this extra point. The Rebels restore this big lead at the start of the fourth quarter. And the referee just making sure there's the correct amount of players on the field, seeing as there hasn't been at some points in this game. And good snap, and that kick, did that go through? Yes, it did. Extra point is good, make it 45-14 for the Rebels. And now, if you're the Raiders, you got to score in a hurry if you want to make this a game, because coming down from 31 points with 11 minutes, it's not impossible, but close.
Yeah, very, very close, yeah. No, like I said, the Raiders just find their groove, do some positive things, go home, practice for the Rams, because you know you're playing the Rebels again in 2 weeks. And then for the Rebels, you're going into the bye. So, just enjoy this lead, enjoy that, take a couple days off, replenish, and then come back and go to work to take on the Raiders again. And more importantly, a win keeps you in pace with the Rams, who won tonight, and the Okanagan Sun are on the bye. That's 3 teams in the league that'll have, the Sun are undefeated, but the Rebels and Rams will have only 1 defeat with the 4 wins.
Gio Lanuzzi kicks this ball away, and it is a booming kick. Nearly goes through the uprights on the other side of the field. And here's a run down the right sideline, and this has some potential. And Isaiah Boutin lowers the boom on Harmon Ahuja on the return. But credit to number 2 for the Raiders, took the hit and got the yardage, as this ball will be spotted near the 40-yard line.
Yeah, we've got a flag back there, so it's probably a legal block on the Raiders for sure. So that'll move the ball back another 10 yards. Let's see what the official says here. Yeah, blindside block, blocking back towards his own goal line. Again, you're only allowed to block towards the opposition goal line. So that's going to be, first and 10 from the 10, I believe. It looks like the 15-yard line.
Looked like a Rebel needed some help getting off the field there, as that's Liam Russell, number 20. Hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, he was the one that got hit, and you don't see them coming, and it's a safety thing, because a lot of kids would get hurt because of you allowed the block back or block anywhere at that time on the field. But they made the change a couple years ago to only allow blocking towards opposition's goal line on kick returns.
So it looks like a timeout was called here by the Rebels, I believe, but don't quote me on it. And the officials using this time to talk something over. If only we could hear.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. There's been a lot of discussions.
There's lots of pointing back and forth.
Yeah.
And lots of looks of confusion. But it does appear that one team took a timeout. We'll hopefully find out soon enough. But the Raiders taking over here after the penalties around their 15, so they're going to have to do a lot of work here to move this ball up. And again, not a lot of time here. Sadler Smith back into this football game. I thought we had seen the last of him for sure. And he's going to throw this deep on first down, and it is caught. Oh, what a play there to hang on to that pass, as that is Silas Gardner through double coverage and the contact. That is a huge gain here, and that moves the chains.
Yeah, it was a nice pass too. He put it up where he could make the catch, but he took a big hit here, and he was strong enough to hold on to the football.
Gio Lanuzzi lowering the boom, but Silas Gardner hanging on, and those are the passes that Sadler Smith has made his name in the BCFC for. As now on first down, it's going to be a lateral pass, looking for Bonsu, and Gio Lanuzzi is waiting in the wings for that one, as that's an interception, and Gio Lanuzzi has the INT, and it is going to be Rebels football after the failed lateral pass trick play.
Yeah, he just threw it up. He had too much air underneath it. I thought he should have run because he didn't really have anybody open. He just put it up, and Gio was right there, and that's his third interception this year. So a good starting point here for the Rebels inside Raiders territory.
And I gotta say, I'm still surprised that the second stringers aren't out at this juncture of the game, but regardless, Ethan Picard, Ryan Vincent, and the rest of the offense going to look to tack on some extra points here. And on first down, Picard going to throw, and that is going to hit the lineman and be incomplete, as that was number 98, who is Daniel Obinquo.
Yeah, he got nice and tall in that one and got his hands up, and Ethan threw it right in his arm.
So that makes it 2nd and 10. Picard going to throw again. And look out as Kai Nickel into double coverage. And that was Kaya Saunders, number 27, one of the prolific defensive backs in the BC Football Conference, in on the tackle. And the Rebels going to have to kick this ball away.
Yeah, just a short pass, just over the middle, but the coverage was on him right away, limiting the gain to 1 yard. So the Rebels be punting here. Again, you want to pin them deep. Clock's working in your favor. You got a nice, comfortable lead. Just keep guys from, doing anything silly or getting hurt, and just do your job, as they say.
Charlie Wiersma with a great kick. And the Raiders really going to have to back up for this ball, as the returner going to try and go down the left sideline. But that is a great job by the special teams unit there, as that was Ron Lyle on the return, but nowhere to go with that football, as that was number 31 for the Rebels in on the tackle.
Yeah, he just let the ball bounce, and you start a little bit deeper. It bounced on around the 12-yard line, and you get tackled at the 4, so you're deep in your own end. And this is just a place where, the Rebels, knowing you're going to be throwing the football, they can just pin their ears back and get after you. And then they've been after Smith all afternoon and having afforded them much time to throw the ball.
Jaden Kohler-Scott in on the tackle, and here is Sadler Smith on his own goal line. Going to have to make something happen here. They're going to try and hand it off on first down, and not a lot of room to work with there is Fermi Akinlola in on the tackle there. Gain of a couple, but still 2nd and long near the goal line.
Yeah, just a run-off tackle, but Rebels have been, dominating the line and eliminating and taking away any holes that were out there at the start of the game that the Raiders had success with, and puts them in a 2nd and very, very long from your own end.
Sadler Smith, tough snap, and he's going to throw a deep ball looking downfield, and that one going to be well out of reach for McCarty, as that looked like an awkward snap. Maybe there's a flag on the far side of the field.
I think it might have been offside Rebels.
So free play, and Sadler Smith gladly throws it downfield just to see if anything will happen, as it did look like the Rebels O-lineman there, 99, might have jumped the gun. So that is going to give a little bit of help here to the Raiders, move it up a few yards, still 2nd down.
Yeah, and getting deep in their own zone, and 9 minutes to go here. If they want to have any thoughts of trying to fire up a couple touchdowns in short order, they better get going at it right here.
2nd and about 4. Empty backfield set here for Sadler Smith. He's going to have to roll out of the pocket right away, and that pass is errant and incomplete, as Bryce Ruther was coming around the corner and looking to lower the boom once again. And now the Raiders going to punt this game away here with this one, as the Rebels should run the clock here on this next drive, and that will pretty much spell the end of this one.
Yeah, and Sadler he had to get going on that because Bryce was on his tail real fast, and he was rolling to his left, and he just couldn't get the shoulders around to accurately throw a pass, and he just put it in between receivers and incomplete. Turn the ball here back to the Rebels, who should get it in great field position.
Chris McClarty back for the Rebels. And it is Riker Sansbury who is going to punt this ball away for the Raiders. A bit of a high snap and just out of trouble there, as Chris McClarty going to take it at about the 45, but he has some trouble with it, and he is just going to have to hold on to this football as he has a bunch of white jerseys coming in on the tackle, and the Rebels going to take over at their own 45, and all that's left to do is run this clock. And you know, Paul, comparing last year to this year, obviously with Andrew Harris coming into the fold for the Raiders, it seems like a team where last year there wasn't really a direction. There wasn't, a vision. And, I think in this game, the Raiders, you could look at this game and see 4 or 5 opportunities where they really could have taken this game and made it something.
Oh, absolutely.
What were some of the strides that you've seen, in this 1-3 start so far for them?
Well, I guess experience. Last year they were a rough, not a real young team, but they were younger, and just a little bit more stability within the coaching staff. I know last year they had some issues with a couple coaches, and then they let the head coach that took over go, and Sean took over. I think it was after the 4th game or 5th game. And so it takes a while for him to get his feet set and, and find the direction he wants to take the team on. And I think this year he's got his thumbprint on it, and these kids are believing. And then he also surrounded himself with former players that understand the Raider philosophies, the Raider way to do things, and the kids are buying into it. But also with Andrew Harris being, a name for the team and being involved, he's a former Raider, one of the most outstanding junior players that's ever played, and as well as obviously he's going to the Canadian Football Hall of Fame for his career in the CFL. But he brings a little bit more stability, a purpose to the Raider organization as well as to Nanaimo, in my opinion. So I think that, to me, that's the biggest difference that I see right now. And they got some really good athletes, real good athletes.
So Ethan Picard unsuccessful on the first 2 downs, and Charlie Wiersma going to kick this one deep into Raider territory. And here is a great tackle as this ball might be spotted on the 1-yard line. So credit to Charlie Wiersma and the Rebels special teams unit, as Harmon Ahuja had nowhere to go with that football. And the Raiders going to start deep in their own territory, as Charlie Wiersma getting some high fives on the way in, as that was pretty much a picture-perfect punt.
Well, I think the returner thought it was going to go out of bounds, so he let it bounce, and it kind of veered back onto the field and didn't touch the sideline, and it kept going. So now, like you say, they're starting. It looks like about the 1-yard line or 2-yard line. And, again, they're backed up real tight to their goal line, and clock's moving. But at this point in the game, they know they're not going to be able to get back into it, and you just try to get a new quarterback back in. Oh, no,
still
Sadler. Yeah.
He's under center here on first down, and he's going to hand it off up the middle and brought down pretty quickly, as that is Giancola. Still gain of about 4 or 5, which is all we've really seen him be able to do with this. Again, this Rebels D-line has just been swarming, closing all of those pockets, and just nowhere to run up the middle.
Yeah, they've really struggled against the Rebels defense today, and also, they had a lot of turnovers, which it never helps you. But yeah, but just positive things. Get first downs, hang on to the football. Those are the little things you always have to be working on, and get a first down here, feel good about yourself. They got the first down.
Yeah, there's another run, and that is Giancola getting past the first down marker and moving the chains. And when you're at this juncture of the football game, that's got to feel good, and maybe that momentum rolls into next week. So that.
Because, they got tough tasks next week as well, heading over to Langley to play the Rams, and then come back and you're playing, three games against two teams with similar records, 4-1, and
there's a pass intercepted as Sadler Smith throwing it into coverage. That's an uncharacteristic play there, as that one didn't look like Ahuja even had a play on that.
Yeah,
and that's an INT that will be credit to Ben Matai, as that one right at a red jersey, and the Rebels going to take over in good field position.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He must have misread something, or because it was just a throw that no one was around other than the Rebel defender.
So Sadler Smith with an uncharacteristic interception, and the Rebels taking over. And that is going to be a false start there.
Yeah, legal procedure against the Rebels for sure on that one. Yeah, they're still getting trying to put points on the board here, looking for 50.
And we saw it last year. The Rebels never seem to take their foot off the gas when they're playing the Raiders.
Yeah, and either do the Raiders. If the Raiders are in this position, they'd be doing the same thing. It's just that's what they do.
So that pass is errant and incomplete. So it's 2nd and 15 now.
Yeah, they're still pushing the ball, trying to push the ball downfield, and I think they're trying to focus on Zion Brown possibly.
There's a flag as
again.
One player on the Raiders jumped the gun too soon, and Ryan Vincent got a free play to work with here, and not a bad gain there as he gets it maybe 5 yards. But we'll wait and see what the penalty flag is. But it looked like the Raiders' D-line went offside there. So the Rebels accept that's a free 5 yards.
Yeah, they'll move it up, be 2nd and 10. You'd have to accept the penalty here because that puts you in 3rd down if you don't. They'll move it up 5.
And again, we thank you wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's on BCFC TV or on TELUS Optic, for this island rivalry, the Battle of the Rock. And again, these two teams do it all again in 2 weeks' time. The Rebels will take their final bye week of the season. And the VI Raiders got to go to Langley, which will be a tough test once again, as Picard going to carry it himself, but he's going to be met there by Colton Finstad. Big tackle there by number 5. We've mentioned his name a lot today. And looks like the field goal unit going to come out on the field here for the Rebels.
Yeah, it looked like he was just kind of spying Picard there, and because he was on him pretty quick. Ethan put the ball in his arm, and he didn't even make the line of scrimmage. I'm going to try a long field, sort of long field goal here, a 33-yarder coming up by Wiersma.
30. Yeah, you're right, 33. Against the wind, though, so that makes this a pretty tough kick.
No kidding.
So let's see if Charlie Wiersma's got the boot to do it. Here comes the snap, good hold. Here's the kick, and it is just wide right. And look out now as that was Kaya Saunders trying to run that one back, but he got tripped up into coverage and will be down near the 30-yard line. So tough kick for Wiersma and just missed wide right, so no points on that drive for the Rebels.
Yeah, it was a good try, but you could see on the return as Saunders was running upfield, He just got clipped on the heel as he was making his cut back to the right, and right there, it was his own man too got him.
There's a late block too behind the play on Cole Bunting. Props to Cole. He didn't push that envelope any further, as we are into the official late stages of this game. 3:36 on the clock here in the fourth quarter. And now Sadler Smith is done for the game, as Bradley Dornez is the new quarterback in, as it's a handoff play on first down, and Giancola can't get very far there. It's going to be a minimal gain at best, and that's going to bring it second and long.
Yeah, just new quarterback in, make it easy, handoff on first down. We'll see if he throws here. Give him an opportunity to feel the rush.
We will see if Brady Dornez, under center here, can make something happen here. He's going to back off his running back, going to be an empty backfield set, and Dornez going to roll out of the pocket to the right, looking to throw, and that is going to be, nearly intercepted, as into double coverage it goes, and the Raiders going to be lucky that it's not going the other way, as that was a nearly disastrous throw, and that is going to be the 3-minute warning here in this football game.
Yeah, the ball just sailed on Brady a little bit there, but again, the Rebels defenders all game have been having good coverage on the Raiders receivers, as well as the pressure coming up front from the front four, as well as the odd linebacker coming here and there. Just kept the Raiders on their heels all evening.
And again, we want to thank everyone who did come out to Starlight Stadium today, and those who made the trip down from Nanaimo. It's always fun to have a full barn and both team supporters in the building, as this ball going to be booted right at the Rebels sideline, and that one going to be out of bounds, so the Rebels going to have pretty good field position here for one more drive.
Yeah, it was right off Saunders' leg, just to about a 20-yard punt. And again, the Rebels in fine field position here. I don't see. Looks like they've got a new quarterback coming in. That's number 12.
Miles Blatherwick, welcome to the football game, good sir.
I think this might be his first time he's been on the field this year.
And Miles going to hand this one off to John Boubard, who didn't like his options but didn't have anywhere to go with it after that. And he looked like the Tasmanian devil there.
Yeah,
as he was in a bit of a tornado, but going to be brought down after a short gain. And there was a flag on the play.
That might be face mask against the Raiders.
And let's see on the replay if we can spot the flag, as again, Boubard didn't like what he saw. And there you see the face mask, as yes, he was held on to there. Not sure who was the offender, but Boubard had nowhere to go there. So that is going to move up the chains. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. And Miles Blatherwick, obviously the second-string quarterback, but I'm telling you what, I've been to practice a few times this year, and he can sling the ball. I'd like to see what he can do, much like Ethan was last year when we saw him in the blowout games.
Yep.
You could see that Ethan had potential to be the number one guy this year, and looks like Boubard going to take this one on first down, but not much to see, and maybe this will be the down we see Blatherwick start to use that arm of his.
Okay, good. That's...
Unlike Picard, Blatherwick is a very rhythm kind of quarterback. He likes to stay in the pocket, whereas Ethan likes to roll out. He likes to use his feet, and Miles likes to get the ball, take his 2 paces, find his receiver. He's a very formulaic, is the way I'd describe the way I've seen him play, and it's a good mix to have because you need a bit of both, especially when it's a long season like it is in the BCFC.
Absolutely.
And looks like it's going to be Boubard up the middle. A good rumble. He's still on his feet. Will he get to the end zone? He will! Holy! John Boubard cannot be brought down. He had about 15 yards to go when he first met contact, but somehow number 45 stayed on his feet. And that's an extra score and just a final dagger into this football game.
Yeah, and at the end, he, like you say, he was moving and grooving, and he got to the goal line. He was being held up, and then all his teammates came and said, let's push him in, and they did, and they got that final push. You can see here he's pushing, and the Raiders are trying to hold him up with it, but here come the troops to push him into the end zone and push them up over 50 points.
Extra point is good. Make it 51-14. I can't believe about the 10-yard line is where he was stopped.
Yeah.
And somehow he made it that extra 10 yards for the score. That was incredible.
Yeah, determination. You get a chance to carry the football because he's not a regular running back with the, like a first-string running back. So he gets it when you get your chance, take advantage of it and do what you can do. Yeah, it's a pretty quiet Raiders bench right now compared to what we saw in the first quarter. And
well, even after, the halftime break, they got that turnover, early on in the third quarter, and it felt like they had life, but unfortunately it just kind of dissipated over time, and they weren't really able to capitalize on that momentum down the stretch.
Yeah, and they had all night they struggled with the Rebels defensive line, and as we talked about Sadler Smith, excited to see him and finally get to see him in person. It just the Rebels' pressure just didn't allow him to open up and show us what he has.
Gio Lanuzzi boots this kick away, and this one going to be returned by the Raiders looking down the left sideline. There's a bit of room there, and Isaiah Boutin gets in on the tackle as Rondé Lyle looked for some room there but didn't see any daylight. And one more drive here for the Raiders offense before they make the trip back over the Malahat to Nanaimo. And what will be a 1-4 football team by the time this is over. And again, it doesn't get easier as they head to Langley to take on the Rams, who are winners of 4 straight.
Yeah, they won tonight over the Valley, and setting up a good matchup for when the Rebels and Rams meet here on I think it's the 15th of September.
Here's a first down handoff, and a little bit of room to run there, as that's Giancola, gain of 5. And before we wrap up this game, just want to give a quick shout out to our entire Roll Focus crew who produces every game here at Starlight Stadium, and we'll be with you all season long here, covering both the Raiders and the Rebels. We always have our fine talent in the truck. Nikki Haysom, our director. Morgan Miles on replay. Scott Myler on graphics. And our field cams, Paige Hoffman. Joseph, I can't pronounce your last name, so I'm not even going to try. Joseph on the field. Chris Wilson. And Hamish up top on our game cam. Thanks again for our entire Roll Focus team for making our BCFC Rebels coverage the best in the league. And we hope to be with you long into the playoffs. Although we don't really know what's going to happen in the final because Okanagan right now has the tiebreaker over the Rebels. So unfortunately, we might only be covering one playoff game for you.
Yeah.
But let's not count our eggs before they hatch.
That game up in Kelowna, I think it's the 23rd of September. It's going to be huge. And then when you look at it, Rebels only have to win by 4 points to take the season series, but they have to win the rest of the way as well. And it's offside.
That looked like a broken play.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Flags now come down, but nothing at the line of scrimmage, which was interesting, as both teams, I think, jumped the gun. False procedure and then offside, and there's a Rebels player that's ailing after the snap, but looks like he might be all right.
This could be a holding penalty against the Raiders, possibly.
Looks like.
I don't know. Looks like it's going against the Rebels. Or maybe not. Yeah, unnecessary roughness against the Raiders. Push the ball back.
into the final minute here at Starlight Stadium. Again, we thank you for tuning in wherever you are from the warmth and comfort of your homes. While Paul, myself, and the rest of the Roll Focus team brave the elements to bring you the coverage today. Again, it's mid to late August, but feels like mid to late October here at Starlight Stadium. It's cold, it's windy, but luckily it's been dry. So thank you again for tuning in.
Didn't start out that way today.
Here is a handoff play. And a little bit of room to run there, as that's OMG and Colane on the tackle. And now you just got to make sure you're in and out and playing between the whistles here. And it looks like that's going to be the case here as the punt team out for the Raiders.
Yeah, I just kick the ball away, kneel down, and end this game and go home, get in the change room, shower, warm up. And for the Raiders to get on the bus, head back home, go back to work tomorrow. You know, put this game in the past. And for the Rebels, just enjoy a little bit of time off and prepare for the next round against these guys.
Story of the game for the Rebels today, Ryan Vincent with 4 all-purpose touchdowns, 3 on the ground, 1 on the air. And then on defense, as we quickly see this ball being booted away, it's a good kick, flag on the ground. Roman Poggi having some trouble with it.
Too many men on the Rebels again.
The Rebels have 13 players, so see how far Poggi can go with this, but ultimately not really going to matter a whole lot because it's going to go back. And Poggi going to wrestle down here, and it looks like some extracurricular activity behind the play. And this is where I said play between the whistles, boys. But another highlight for the Rebels on defense, Denis Moses. 2 interceptions in the first half, and number 23 for the Rebels was huge in turning the tide in this football game because the Raiders really had momentum of this game in the first 10 minutes, and it wasn't until Moses had those 2 interceptions. Rebels got some penalty help, and then Ryan Vincent did the rest on the ground.
Yeah.
And that was really the story of where this game was headed.
Yeah, the Rebels, you got to give them credit. The Raiders came out, they were fired up. They moved the ball well. They scored first. The Rebels struggled the first couple of times they had the ball, but then, like I say, one of those interceptions turned into a touchdown eventually. And even with all the penalties that the Rebels have taken, they've been able to maintain the lead. They didn't give the ball back to the Raiders in a real serious position. And also the Raiders didn't capitalize on some of that, the big penalties that the Rebels had given up. But I would suspect the Rebels had maybe over 20 penalties tonight, and they've always been a team that's led the league. They hold the all-time record for penalties in the year as well as yardage, and it's just been kind of a habit for the organization. But when you look at it, maybe they're not overly concerned about that because they are successful. They do win games. They're in positions to compete for the Cullen Cup and last year Canadian Bowl. So there was only 5 seconds to go here, so I would suspect that it was Rebels football, but they'll kneel down.
Just waiting for the final clarification, as the Rebels don't even have an offensive unit on the field here.
We got 13 men out there, so I think somebody has to come off.
Good counting, Paul. Oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Please don't take a penalty on victory formation.
Yeah.
And here comes the victory formation. And do they need to snap this ball one more time? I believe they do.
Yes. Yeah.
There's the clock running. It should run down to 0, and surely it has. So now all that's left to do is kneel this one down. Miles Blatherwick will do the duties, and that will wrap it up as the Westshore Rebels take the first of 3 meetings here against the VI Raiders in convincing fashion by a score of 52-14. Again, the VI Raiders had moments. They came out, scored the first points of this game, but unfortunately, couldn't recover from the adversity of those 2 interceptions, and the rest was history.
Yeah, and they struggled with the Rebels' defensive line the entire evening, and their quarterback, Sadler Smith, really didn't get comfortable back there, which is a credit to the Rebels' entire defense for putting pressure on him and the coverage guys. And that's something that next time around the Raiders are going to understand what they have to do to improve the performances I missed tonight for the next time they play. But first up is the Rams, and that's something they better prepare for, because you don't want to get too far back. You know, with the Valley Huskers losing tonight, Kamloops won, so there's 3 teams that have 1 win, and they're only a game behind the Valley Huskers, who right now currently sit in 4th place.
Players are wanting out the scoreboard. They want to see themselves on the scoreboard. I don't know what for, but we don't have control of that, guys.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about it. That's over there. Go that way. That's over there. We don't control the scoreboard. Unfortunately, the Rebels players want to see themselves on the scoreboard. I don't know what for. I don't know what for. They're all looking to us here in the scoreboard booth, and I don't know what to tell them. Unfortunately, I believe our scoreboard operator has gone home. So
there you go. Yes. Yeah, because it's black now.
For some reason, they want the score up on the board. I don't know why. Regardless, 52-14 is your final score. I would yell it from the top of the mountain if I could, but 52-14 is your final here from Starlight Stadium. Again, this is the first of 3 meetings between these teams. We'll do it all again in Nanaimo in 2 weeks' time, as Lorenzo, our good friend up in Nanaimo, will carry you on from there.